Hello and welcome back to Lorehammer. My name is Eric.
Eric, good to see you.
It is
Mark.
good to see me, isn't it?
Welcome.
Namaste.
You don't welcome me. I welcome
Yeah.
you.
Joining us is Christian
Hello, everybody.
My good friend
for
Christian.
the last time.
For the first of the last times.
Yes, well, the last of... Yeah. And then also joining us today is Brianna.
Hey,
How's it
Hey.
going?
it's good.
That's good.
That perfect. All right. Well, let's just ignore the fact that there's a girl on the show, I guess.
Yeah,
and
He's
Pretty much it
over
doesn't matter, right? So I'll just.
Or do we lean into it and say, we're now doing video, so if you want to see a girl,
Oh, prepare me for that. And then I will. We'll talk.
join our
We'll talk
Patreon.
numbers.
there's many things we could lean into. I just think we might have to have that conversation.
With lawyers involved, I think, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe some government officials.
Don't you guys see how naive I am? I think you should take advantage of this.
It's for our safety.
Oh my
Yeah, it's for Lorehammer's
Yeah,
protection.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
We know you're fine.
Okay.
Anyways, this is our this is episode 71. Witch cults. The cults of the witch.
You know what I just realized?
What did you just realize, Mark? Good boy.
Well, I've been informed for the last couple weeks that apparently we missed this huge opportunity to do episode 69 on Slanish and blah, 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 blah. So,
Well, are you 12?
no, and that's why I originally did not do anything. But apparently that's what the fans wanted. We're catering to 12-year-olds and Christian.
It would be interesting
I'm
to
very demanding.
like a 12-year-old. Yeah. It would be very interesting to see what the average age of our listeners are.
I don't know about the listeners, but on Instagram, they show the numbers, and it's like...
Yeah, it's like the 24 to 35
Yeah,
age range or
yeah.
whatever.
That's what you would expect is the loser age range.
Right, yeah, the sloppy millennial.
Irresponsible.
Yeah,
Doesn't
lives
have a
in
house.
lives in the basement.
You see how I'm staying quiet this entire time?
Do you
It's because you don't belong in the conversation? You're a
I guess
responsible
not.
adult, or what?
You know, might be with a 12-year-old a lot too much. Because I'm a mother, guys.
Yeah. Explain that.
Yeah, well, before we get into the episode, we just have a couple things we want to share. One, if you aren't on our Patreon, join us.
Yeah, join our Imperial Tithe.
This is our third episode that we're recording in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah. Oh, the
move.
applause. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
yes.
we just need to move to take
I wanted
advantage
to
of the
record
fact
the
that we're
entire-
filming.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know?
see our bodies moving.
See the lips.
So squiggly.
Hey, every
Lips
time.
flapping.
I'm sorry.
But you get access to our video episodes for $2 a month. So
Yeah.
you pay $1 per video that we release.
$2 a month. That's less than $1 a month. Wow.
That's not math, but I like the enthusiasm.
It's coming from the right place. Yeah.
You also get some like discounts on our merch. You also get some to enter like some contests on our Discord. There's a couple bonuses in there, and we're working on getting more.
And
so.
yeah, we have more ideas. We're just looking for other goals for us to hit first.
Yeah.
The other thing we have is, Mark has mentioned, we do have our Discord. If you aren't part of that community, find us on
all
the
12
link
of
is
us are having the time of our life on
yeah.
there.
Well, all 12 accounts that Mark made are having the time of their lives. We also have our Facebook, our Instagram, our other ways that you guys can interact with us.
Yeah.
We also have our listener lore.
Yeah, people are still sending them, so it's good. If you got lore for your army or just a short story you're writing, send it in to us at lorehammerpodcast@gmail.com. Try to keep it at least 10 minutes, under 10 minutes. Under.
Yeah,
If it's over, I will not read it.
I will. Maybe.
But so I guess it depends on whose feedback you want. If you want Eric's feedback, like, keep it
Do you
long.
just like
Lots of
check
big
out
words.
after 10 minutes? Like if I'm 10 minutes in, you're like, well, that's my
Well-
mark. I'll see you guys later.
Well, it's lunch.
yeah.
Gets up and walks away. Mid-conversation.
Pulls up like that old toolbox, cracks it
Box,
open. There's
yeah.
like a big sub in it,
Oh yeah, of
a
course.
carton of milk, and then he just doesn't talk to any of us. He's like, guys, I'm on lunch. Anyways, but we also have our community corner, and just today,
we're not going to share that one that we just got today yet.
My
I
apologies
just
then.
want to talk to him. And
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, we don't have a community corner today.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys do if you have something 40K related that you do a podcast, or you have a gaming community, or literally anything that you want to do, anything that you do that is 40K related,
Are you selling illegal Games Workshop merchandise? We want to advertise for you. Stuff like that. So
Yeah, exactly. If it's 40K related, we want to put it on the show.
yeah.
So that's, and we'll do it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you want to shout out like a gaming crew.
Sure, yeah.
You
We
run
don't
an
care.
RPG and are like, hey, shout out to all my friends.
But I hope you give us then the names of them.
Yeah, of course.
Like-
Otherwise, it could just be so broad that it could.
But I
encompass
want to be
anybody.
like, say hello to like Zizu.
Yeah, and say something like really embarrassing that they did on it.
Yes, yeah. Tell us the story of how they split the party and then they all fell in acid traps. Classic.
Not what Community Corner was intended for, but
But it's going to be abused.
What are
Like
you gonna-
everything
yeah,
in this
what are you
podcast,
gonna do?
it's going to be
You give
abused.
people an inch, they take an apple. You know, like there's no.
There's no reason or rhyme.
Yeah,
to it.
exactly. It just happens. Anyways, let's get into.
we're fucking quick at our intros now. Look at us go.
I don't like it. I listened to the last episode and I like the long lead-ins.
Well, why don't you tell us a story about your life?
Yeah.
Here's a long
Come on,
lead-in.
Christian.
There's no,
What did you
there's-
do on Friday night?
Yeah.
Sorry, Saturday night.
What
I had a hamburger
Do.
and I went home to sleep,
What should you have been doing?
Where'd you get
hanging
that
out
hamburger?
with my friends at Peter's Drive-In.
Did you really go there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did.
And that was only 5 minutes away from where me and Brianna were hanging out.
Yes, but I was tired.
You're like, why would I get?
Oh my
$3?
goodness.
Traffic.
Okay. All right.
At
Interlude is over.
1 a.m.
10 o'clock.
No, it was 11 p.m.
Yeah,
Traffic was
11.
non-existent during the
No,
quarantine at
come
11.
on.
Yeah.
He was perky too. He just got off work. Everything was fine.
I was
Yeah.
not perky. I'm never
Well,
perky.
he was perky enough to go drive for a burger. So
Worst burger I ever had. Just kidding. I
think it's
I
Karma.
love Peter's.
Oh right.
I live like right there. So
Oh, so we could have hung out too, Eric.
Yeah, yeah.
And you never said anything.
on
So
purpose.
Mark and
On
I are
purpose.
still here,
Yeah.
and we were still there. So
Uh-huh.
glad you guys are with it now.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, we're
next
here
time.
now,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's what matters.
I'm so glad to see you.
Super glad to see you, Brianna. But actually, let's kind of introduce you before we get into the episode. Yeah, you. The one with the glasses.
Yeah, we
The one
used
with
to-
the hair.
I don't have either of those.
Hair. You don't?
This is all fake,
Oh, well, it looks great for
Yeah.
fake.
Couldn't tell.
but these are real.
Well, they look great. I don't know what to say.
Couldn't tell. You know?
I'm keeping it mine.
So
You couldn't tell?
I'm bad at that kind of stuff.
I mean, that was the right answer for your girlfriend, but not for me.
Yeah. So you have known us for a long time, many years, but you have only recently gotten to 40K in the past, 2 years, 3
Yeah.
years?
And it wasn't even because
It
of
wasn't
us.
even us.
Like not
Yeah.
even related, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to say you planted the seed.
I also
Mark
like
likes to say that
yeah.
too.
Real deep because it's stuck.
How does that make you
And
feel?
now you
Eric?
have me whipped today, so.
Mark just sowing seeds and
Paid
plowing
off.
fields. Reaping harvests.
Yeah, that will grow in a couple of years. Yep. I did good work today in the fields. But no, you moved away. You picked up Warhammer in your travels.
Yeah.
And now you're back in the land of plenty, Calgary, Alberta,
I'm hoping.
where dreams come true.
That's what
I'm
I
here to
thought when
die.
I came here, and then COVID, and I don't know. You guys.
Now you're
all-
stuck, yeah.
It's odd.
But you play Dark Eldar, which is awesome because it just so happens that today's episode, there's a little bit of Dark Eldar in there.
So this is when I'm going to ask for your advice. It's not going to be the other way around. I mean,
Yes.
I've been playing, but I've also been not winning all the time. So we'll leave it there.
That's okay.
I want people to like me. I don't want them to be like, oh, she's a poser. I'm not a poser. I just get really excited about a lot of armies. So I have a lot to digest right now because they're not my only army.
a lot of. So what's your other army?
Well, I have like my Sisters of Battle, but I'm also expanding with my Yunari in general. So I'm getting my craft worlds in there and stuff. But I don't want to say this, but I'm interested in Slanesh. So I have some demons. I wanted chaos. I wanted to blend it all in. To
Hey,
put it
me.
into 40K.
It's your girl. Hey, demons. It's your girl, Brianna.
Okay, so I like the girls. I'm trying to make him as sexy as possible because I feel any distraction at that point on the table is the best. So,
Can't do that.
yeah, put me on the table and watch me bend over.
You can't do that.
But I have to.
Not allowed.
It's my only thing. Yeah, so anyway, we should move on to your guys' guidance.
All I can say is subscribe to our Patreon. You can look at Eric's face during this conversation. It is definitely worth $2. I might even join just so I can rewatch it.
It's great to have you on the
Am I
show,
coming back
Brianna.
after this? Yeah. Am I muted?
But no, let's actually get into Witch Cults. It's really cool to have you because while you do really care and you think it's really cool, you haven't been in it super long, so you don't know everything.
Yeah.
So that's
our specialty. Then we can
it really
feed you
is.
false
I love
information.
Wise.
Oh,
Yeah, we
good.
don't have to actually fact check what we're doing. Then.
God, no. That's
Oh yeah,
the
no.
worst.
The Emperor
I
was
feel like
totally
that's what my
my
ex-boyfriend
dad.
did, and that's how he
Oh.
won all the time.
Don't play Mark.
Mark.
You play by Mark rules, and you're gonna lose a lot of games.
So you're in him actually. Hey, he's in him actually.
Well, yeah, no, he's the no. This is what the rule is supposed to do, not what the rule does.
Yeah,
It's the rule is meant to do this. That's what he says.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's the spirit. It's
The
rule as
spirit of-
intended.
Yes,
Rule as intended. Mark's armies don't lose. That's the.
because I'm a special little guy.
I really wanna have you as my mentor. This is.
Show me the ways.
You're
of
gonna
winning,
do a
Mark.
lot
What
better
do I
than
have
me.
to do?
I don't know. Just like
Talk to
bat
your wife
your eyes
about
at
it.
people. Like
What if I get you money for your show? Okay.
We'll teach you how to play the best Warhammer if you bring money to Warhammer.
I'll bring all the money.
You will win so often if you just start paying us to play Warhammer.
Wait. So you're just
I
gonna
lost
lose?
again.
No, I don't like
Oh,
that.
what a surprise.
No, you know what? I don't like that. Moving on.
Let's get into it now. Witch cults.
Yeah.
Today's episode is about that faction within the Drukhari. So they are one of the three main factions within Camorra that are outside the power structure and authority of the Cabals and the Homunculi Covens. We have talked about Cabals before.
Yeah.
We have talked about Homunculi before.
that was a good episode.
Honestly, yes. If you don't know a lot about Homunculi, if you're just getting into it, as great as this episode is going to be, since I haven't recorded it yet, it's kind of tough to say, but Homunculi episode was 10 out of 10.
One of your favorites?
One of my favorites.
We one day got to do like a list of what our favorites are. What our top 71 favorites
I wouldn't be
are.
surprised if our top 71.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could probably do my top 71 episodes.
For now.
Yeah.
Season now.
Till tomorrow and you make another one. Yeah.
So the witch cults, they function alongside Cabals and the Homunculus Covens to offer their assistance, their essential services to both citizens of the Dark City as well as their blades in real space raids.
Yes, each cult resides in massive complexes that all have one thing in common: an indescribable gladiatorial arena. These arenas are the stage upon which the witches display their prowess. And each night, the citizens of Camorra are gathered to bear witness to the bloodletting and pain gathering.
I like it. Keep going.
My head wrapped around that
The
weirdly.
pain gathering.
Yes, they gather. They gather pain of the witches. The witches, they bloodlet and they specifically inflict pain upon others and slaves. And
I just want to paint a picture here. Keep this in the back of your mind during this episode.
everybody, close your
Everyone
eyes
close
to
your
really.
eyes, okay.
Especially if you're driving.
Start off with Russell Crowe. Everyone got Russell Crowe in your head? Okay, so now he's holding a Roman sword and he's in...
Just wait.
yeah, I don't know if I'm there, but okay.
I'm ready now. I've got it
Just
in
go
my
watch
head.
the movie Gladiator, Eric,
That's-
on your own time.
It's in my head now. I'm ready.
I don't want it.
Explain it to me. Talk me through it.
Okay, he's swinging a sword. He's killing people. There's a tiger.
But did he bend over? Oh, there it is.
He's done.
There we go.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, just
Gladiator is 10
really,
out of 10.
Really keep that picture of like Roman gladiators in the back of your mind because this is really what witch
Roaring
cults-
crowds,
Yeah.
the desire for blood, it just every
While being a little sexy about it.
what you still you think Russell Crowe wasn't trying to be sexy at the same time that he was cutting people's throats?
That man can't not be sexy.
No comment.
You
Maybe
take
he
your
was. Maybe he was
opinion, you
trying.
get the hell out of
He was
here.
probably really
I
trying.
love Russell Crowe on South Park. So good.
Yeah. There's one of his more recent movies, actually. He's filled out a little bit.
No.
He's kind of let himself
now
go
I like
since
it.
Gladiator days. And
Not like our sweet boy Eric.
No.
He's always
This is
has
the body
been,
of a
always will be
machine
in
right
his
here.
prime.
He's going for the real Necron look.
yeah.
It's cold over
Wasted
here.
away.
Welcome. Yeah. So the practice of bloodletting and pain gathering that the witches do, it evolved as a necessity because of the nature of each Dark Eldar within the city. Because the Dark Eldar lack the protection of the path that craft worlds and Exodites kind of have,
Yeah.
Slaanesh is constantly feeding off their souls. In order to stay alive, the Dark Eldar have learned to sustain themselves on the pain and suffering of others.
Yeah. So really, yeah, they just devour souls while their souls constantly being devoured, and
Yeah.
it just
It's a version of their immortality.
Yep.
You know, they keep themselves young, they keep themselves beautiful,
Uh-huh.
sinister, but they also keep themselves athletic and graceful because, you know.
all you gotta do is torture a cat too, so it's not even a big deal.
Whoa, take that back. They are agile for a reason. They work hard.
Hey, I'm not
Have
just
you seen everybody?
the Dark
Money.
Eldar player here. So
Yeah. None of us actually play Dark Eldar except for.
only one person is drawn
Yeah.
to them.
I'm not going to be biased.
to
I'm just going
murdering
to be
cats.
protectively protective.
You like what you got going on over there for sure. If there were no cults, the citizens would have no outlet for their compulsive need to witness another person's pain. The city would descend into chaos and anarchy.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine that in Komorra descending into chaos? The glorious city itself.
I like to think of it as an orgy of violence.
Ooh. Is that what you like to think of?
Is that what you
normally?
thought of last night? I've heard you like the lore.
But yes, without these coliseums, without these shows, these performances, the
Yeah.
people of Komorra would rebel. They would all, I don't know, go crazy in their desire for violence
Yeah.
and blood.
There's like the saying in Komorra, like that souls are the currency. So like even the poor are allowed to come to to most of the gladiatorial games and watch it and be able to sustain their own like life force
they,
off of it.
they take a little bit of it, right? They're able to, it's able to hold them over until the next time they
Yeah.
witness this in the arena, right?
Yeah.
So. All right, we've been talking about their arenas. Let's actually talk about their arenas.
I got a quote from Eric also as well. He said, "An indescribable gladiatorial arena."
That's right.
All right, so moving on then.
Yeah, because
Perfect.
clearly we can't then describe
Let's
them.
skip points I through IX.
I feel like he's lost a few times to, this army before making this. I should have read this a little more before.
That's fine. I don't think Eric or Christian read anything either. So
I'm still not reading it even now.
He's only here for the coke. You son of a bitch. Got us again.
Do not take a nap.
Halfway through, he just
Sneaks out.
he's propped himself up, sunglasses on. Anyways, arenas. The cult arenas are spectacular structures to behold. There is no standardization from one arena to the next. From gargantuan coliseums that seat millions to private stages where only the wealthiest may watch. No matter their scale, their purpose is to provide a show.
yeah, I could just picture some of it like glowing dark green, like emerald coliseums. Just
Pumping like narcotics and drugs through the entire stadium to get
Yeah.
everyone into a frenzy.
Yeah, in
Don't say
flashing
narcotics
lights.
so poorly. I mean, it's a potion of
fun.
finesse. And, yeah. It's so
Interesting.
fast,
Because
And
of
how
the
do you
narcotics?
Have you ever been to a rave? That's what I imagine, isn't it?
Well,
Glow
yeah,
sticks
like
Instead of a
everywhere.
sprinkler system, it's a sprinkler system of blood.
Yeah.
So that's always nice.
Well, isn't that in Blade? They do that?
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
they like
they do.
rain blood from like the
I
onto...
suppose they do, don't they?
Nice little reference, Mark.
Very well done. Oh my God.
Our hats off to you, good sir.
I don't like it.
How many swirls do I get?
Did you say anything worthy of hats offing?
I guess I'll work on it.
This hat is staying firmly on my head.
Since the Dark Eldar need to be stimulated in a multitude of ways.
We're moving on.
Christian might be right on that one.
I don't like it.
As great as this is, it's not meant for iPads.
It's meant for branding exclusively.
Thank you, Spenny.
Since the Dark Eldar need to be stimulated in a multitude of ways, the arenas must reflect a variety of environments to test or showcase each witch. Their environment could range from a simple stage with no sand, to spinning blades and enraged beasts, to extravagant setting with gravity wells or kinetic inversion snares.
Yeah, this was something that really kind of got our imaginations going. Because
It really made us want to open up our own gladiatorial arena, really, and see what we could do.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing after this,
Tonight?
man. I got
Yes.
this.
Why do you think we invited you here? Because we're about to fight to the death. We're gonna pump you full of drugs, though.
You won't feel a thing.
Yeah. You're gonna be so finesse.
So elegant. I like it. I won't feel a thing.
But yeah, the interesting thing is that, like, we kind of, when we think of gladiators and coliseums, we definitely think of the movie Gladiator.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's Russell Crowe and there's just a beast. But there are many other ways that the Dark Eldar can actually be sustained through these things. It's not just death and pain.
Yeah.
There's also other things as well. Or it's not your normal understanding of death and pain.
Yeah.
It's very possible to think that a show is a homunculi going onto the sands, reviving someone, killing them, reviving them, killing them, and like 100 times.
Yeah.
And it's no longer about each death. It's about the pain that it's inflicting upon that person's soul or being or whatever, right? So the way they interact with feeling is very different than how we do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be just slaves against these powerful warriors.
Yeah. It could even be like you got 1,000 slaves in front of you, and you literally just cut one at a time, and then you go back to the front of the line and you cut them all again. And you just
Absolutely.
do that until one is surviving, and then you decapitate them or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
Like tiny
Or
little
like,
cuts.
just live torture, essentially.
yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
exactly.
But it also can just be like, all right, we have a bunch of witches lined up here, and now you're all gonna run across this pit, and it's just whoever gets to the other side wins.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe they're
The
fighting
floor
each
is lava,
other.
quite literally. I want you to get to the other side.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It might just be like a hazardous test for
You
them.
got PvE, you got PvP, you got...
Yeah, it's anything that you can think of, any style you could, as long as it ends in pain or blood
HPV.
or any of those. Like, I think you could really get a strong theme for if you were to build a witch cult. You could build a really strong theme by basing it around how does your gladiator arena like to showcase themselves.
Sure.
So.
One of the crazy things too about arenas is that they can be incredibly big. So they have like full-on races with like jet bikes, Eldar jet bikes, and they just go, miles potentially. They could be massive stadiums too.
Yeah, Camorra is a city that's bigger than a planet. So, I mean, you could have a coliseum that's the size of...
Think big. What's the biggest thing you can
France.
think of? Yep, exactly. There you
Was
go.
it big enough?
That was big enough. That was perfect. Quick on your toes.
Thank you.
You've been taking
He's always
narcotics.
thinking about France, though.
Yeah. God damn.
That's not kind of fair.
Always, surrendering when they never need... Anyways.
Other cool things that we were kind of throwing around, like what could happen in coliseums, is not only are they like doing like all these tests or all these like shows that we were talking about, they also are like testing their gladiators and like
Constantly striving to show how much they've perfected and learned. And, a space marine is one of the ultimate tests, like, for humanity. Like, how good are you actually fighting a space marine,
Yeah. So it's not just a slaughter where the Dark Eldar actually always win. They will actually do things that test themselves and push themselves beyond the
It's
limit.
a genuine contest.
Some of them can be, for sure.
Yeah, or even a wild beast that's dangerous enough.
Absolutely. Yeah, you get, like, what was... Oh, man. There's got to be one of those ones that on our Bestiary and Herbarum episode.
Well,
Maybe the floaty bouncing ones.
I was gonna say crocodids, but
Crotalids.
crotalids.
Those
I guess
But then
they
they
could
just
be
escape.
there.
They just
No,
appear.
they just appear into the crowds. Yeah. So, wow, what a perfect segue to my next line. Fights within the arena may very well spill out into the audience itself. It is not uncommon for a witch to put on an aerial show where they expertly bleed their opponent onto the crowd. They could even fight amongst the audience itself.
Yeah.
However they choose to perform, all arenas share one thing in common each night. They are soaked in blood and gore, and the audience leaves enraptured by the pain that they witnessed and they fed upon.
That's nice. Just a nice family outing.
Nice.
You know, something you really take your kids to.
Well, if they're
bond
Dark
over.
Eldar kids,
Yeah.
sure. They've been trying to kill you since day one, so.
They don't come out the normal way. They rip their way out of the womb. Have you seen Aliens? Something like that.
Yeah, jeez. But it's also, we'll even get into it later, but sometimes even the audience participates.
Sure.
So any
All
style
the
you
seats just they drop down, create a slide.
It's a
so
slide
that
and
whole,
just- yeah.
part of the audience just goes
Everyone.
into the Coliseum.
That's kind of cool. I like
Yeah,
that
it's-
visual.
Yeah, it's like a random
Settle
thing.
down,
like-
Christian. Don't need this again tonight.
Yeah.
What
so-
else do you picture?
Everybody close your eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Oh!
think I.
We're doing this.
We're doing
Is
this
this a
again.
hands up or hands down, eyes closed?
Eric's not ready for another
we
round
film
so
this?
soon. For extra
Are we not
$5
closing
on our Patreon.
We're not
No, we're
closing
not. We shouldn't.
No.
It's dangerous.
It's a danger.
next time.
So Coliseums are much more though than just places of slaughter. Cult strongholds also have Cult strongholds also have many out of sight places not seen by the general public. So it's not just a Coliseum. Witches will live and perfect their craft in the training pits, which are, tucked away or whatever. And they'll practice many exotic techniques or, whatever.
Yeah,
Make
things
up
that
their own.
absolutely modify ones that they've seen even.
Yeah.
So
But most of them will focus on speed and style.
yeah, we'll get into it later, but speed is the peak of a witch, not power or strength.
Yeah. So they'll have many places just, for just even anyone to fight anyone, really.
Absolutely. Anything you can think of a training regime for a Dark Eldar witch? Sure, whatever. We can build it.
Yeah.
You know?
And they will come.
Well, not to the
Maybe.
pit, but we'll bring them to the pit. We'll fill the pit with their bodies.
A little body pit.
Body pit.
Good old pig pit.
Yeah. Academies for teaching witches Xenos biology, the best way to sever an artery, to perfectly flay a victim's flesh while keeping them alive, or even just which poison is most effective, are learned in practice. So it's just another building or thing that they have within their strongholds.
Yeah.
In the arena, it doesn't just matter that you kill your opponent, but it matters how you kill them. Most of the time, a long, drawn-out, bloody, painful battle is the best.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to just quickly run in, shoot him in the face with a
And then
splinter
walk
pistol.
away. Yeah. Where's the agony? Where's the terror that everyone else is trying to feed off of? It just unless you're going for something very specific, I don't think that would be your normal goal.
Sure.
It's funny because when you think about when you're playing them, you always, I don't know, when I play them, maybe someone correct me now because I've been losing a lot. But I have my witches forward and you get them stuck, so that they have to fight for a slow while until the rest of your army can scoot up, and it kind of plays into it for me because they're just slowly slashing away and waiting for their guys, but they're taking their time. Just
Goddamn racks are so
they're
slow.
Oh yeah, witches are quick though.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
So vast armories filled with many alien Dark Eldar technologies, weaponry is also there, as well as raiders and venoms and all types of different vehicles, jet bikes, whatever.
Sure,
I'm sure some of them even have planes where they do plane contests, whatever. And they're all stored and maintained within the Coliseum building, the cult stronghold. Some of the most exotic and bizarre weapons in the entire galaxy are probably found here.
Absolutely. One of the good things about Kimura is just that it exists everywhere. Anywhere in the galaxy, you're probably no more than a hop, skip, and a webway portal away
Sure,
from
yeah.
Kimura, right? So no matter what Xenos, probably a Comorite presence has been felt in that area of the galaxy, right?
Yeah.
So
And yeah, I definitely don't think Eldar have like the same preference over their technology as everyone else. Like you almost never see Imperial people using Xenos technology.
well, yes, it's not a heretical thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
but like even like Craftworld Eldar, I don't think you would ever see them using any other type.
I would argue that just because Eldar tend to be a little bit racist, that they would like maybe have a preference for their weapons.
Here's the thing,
or like they'd appreciate
Yeah.
a well-made weapon, but they're like,
yeah.
a human built that.
Something
like
that I've
Glasgow,
been
that's-
something that I've been coming to realize is that even though like they are definitely like racist, they view themselves as like the
Superior.
pinnacle.
Yeah.
They still know that other races can come up with things that they haven't thought of. So I think the main thing for them is that like, oh, like you made a pistol, well, we have better pistols, so
Yeah,
why would
like-
we bother taking it? But like,
But they
who's-
find one
who's-
that's genuinely unique or
Exactly.
powerful,
Yeah.
and they're
Yes.
like, I like this.
and that's
I'm
what
gonna
Mark's
keep
talking
this.
about.
Yeah.
Like that's
This
where
one
the
just,
most bizarre stuff is there.
This
The-
one, when you shoot them, it just melts their bones. But like,
Their body stays intact.
exactly.
Or,
It's like,
yeah,
we don't have that.
Turn
we
into
need
a
that.
sack of jelly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Let's bring this one back and put it in the pits. See what happens.
Exactly.
But yes, they definitely still prefer their own
Yeah.
weaponry, but there is always the room for some crazy exotic technology
Yeah.
within a Dark Eldar armory.
Well, even their poison weapons, right? Like, I think they mentally were probably thinking that, slowly torturing them, and right?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
You got to speak up.
What about what?
Just in general.
In
Like
volume.
louder.
Use your man voice.
I mean, I felt there was enough testosterone.
no, we're all
I'm
soy
We're,
boys.
we're
yeah.
missing
All right, here I go.
a testosterone at this
you're
point, right? Because
Yeah.
normally there's 4.
So you're lacking, and I'm.
Also,
Okay.
I usually bring in
I need to
negative
fill a void in
testosterone.
the
I
chat.
remove testosterone from the room.
He's a testosterone sponge.
Yes.
we call him.
It's not because I don't have it. It's because I'm taking yours.
Sword, not a sponge, a void. There's just a void of testosterone around.
Like a blank.
But yeah, you just
So I won't sit
increase
by
the
you
volume.
Yeah, but they'll find like crazy weird animalistic Xenos and take their poison, their venom, and use that, dab their blades in it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's not all just synthetic or whatever.
Absolutely. What happens when we rub this guy's quills on my eyeballs? Can I see better? Dark Elder would do
Can I
that.
see better?
Well, they probably
When
test
has
on
that ever
someone
been the
else first.
case?
Sure, on a slave.
Yeah.
But when
They
that
look
is handy.
pretty right now. Yeah.
What if the slaves aren't handy? You know,
Or what if they were too good after? They'd be like,
yeah. We can't risk these slaves
yeah.
being too good.
How do I kill it?
I guess that's another thing. Like, how do you roid up all of your opponents, and then what if you in the Coliseum, right? You roid up all your opponents, and you're just a natural person, and you have to beat them that way, right? Like,
Test your skills. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. Anything is possible.
With the power of friendship.
I don't think there's any of that in Kimura, but
In the arena, not area. Let's just change that right now in the middle of our recording. In the arena, it's not always witches fighting sentient life, and often the most dangerous animals will be captured, brought, housed, bred, and eventually killed in the arena for the entertainment of the masses. So we definitely touched on that before about how it's not just slaves, it's not just what comes from their raids or whatever, but they also fight beasts.
Yeah.
And if you've listened to our Bestiary and Herbarum episode, or just caught little tidbits over the past years that we've done this podcast, there are a plethora of deadly beasts waiting to be brought into the Comorite pit.
not even just waiting, just like willing to. Yeah.
More than happy to go into the pits.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff out there.
I would even argue there's some plants out there that they can.
Oh yeah, I
can
never
fight.
even considered that, but that's true.
You just open up a whole world of possibilities.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's kind of a okay. That's kind of cool. I
But
like
clearly,
that.
Christian thinks more about the arenas at night and what potential is.
I'd like to come up with different ways
Yeah.
to utilize.
Really gets into this part.
No, they actually do have what are called like beast masters. I kind of like the idea that now they have like
Plant masters,
yeah, sure,
Herbalists.
herbalists, yeah.
growers,
Yeah, something like that.
summer showers, the beast masters. They'll show you their
Wares.
That they've
yeah,
collected.
but
yeah.
some are growers. They'll grow the plant
I
necessary.
think that is the saying. and
I mean,
the
anytime-
context of the saying.
Anytime I've ever heard the phrase showers or growers, I've only ever thought
About gardeners.
Kimura. And it's coliseums and the witch cults. That's the only thing that's ever crossed my mind. And to anyone who's even thinking of something remotely different, I would say get your mind out of the gutter, Brianna.
Men's bathroom.
I just know.
Two
Yeah,
penises.
I just know when I'm taking a glance and they're like, "Oh, I'm growing out a shower," but I'm always like, it's not your best foot forward. So when you're putting, them
When
in
you're
the same context,
advertising.
I'm so upset right now. yeah, but they will show up. You know what I mean? Like, let it grow. Let it grow.
As a grower in Kimura, I agree. Let the plants grow.
Yeah.
So whatever the size. Oh, sorry, no, I missed one. Also,
Whatever
with,
the size.
Oh, that's what Red's doing.
A little Freudian slip there.
He likes it.
You should have put a filter system up before.
He's so red.
it's so hot in here. Is it just me or oh my?
Maybe we need a break from talking about gladiators for Eric. Just give him a minute
Bro.
to cool.
Also within the complexes are museums dedicated to showcasing the trophies of the cult. Filled with exhibits, Dark Eldar visit to relive the moments of ecstasy experienced in the arena or from a real space raid.
I love the idea of museums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the most dangerous creature in the galaxy, they have its head in there.
Absolutely, but not only a dead museum, but imagine a living museum.
Oh, sure.
Imagine they brought some crazy champion that died horrifically back to life, and they just replay his death over and over, and he's just killed constantly in this thing, and the blood splatters the exact same every time against the window or whatever. Like, that's a living museum.
Put a lot of thought into
Perfect
this.
trauma.
We do a lot of planning, and when we plan, I like to
The juices get going. The brain
blood.
juices. Oh,
The blood flows.
the growers and,
the grower.
and the showers.
back to that.
But whatever the size,
Hey.
whatever the size of the arena, whatever the
That's
strong-
what you were thinking about. Okay.
Yeah, whatever the stronghold, however pits are and however big your museum is, each cult will pour much of their resources and wealth into the arena's specifically appearance.
Sure.
The arena is a showcase of the power and wealth that a cult has earned, and a suitably impressive coliseum may ensure future contracts from cabals at a higher rate. The more dangerous of a show you put on,
Yeah.
the more extravagant your vendors, like the food they serve or whatever, like everything just points to more powerful means we're higher value.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
higher value you are, the bigger price you can charge. And that's the secondary purpose, I would say, of an arena.
Yeah. It's to be able to get souls so you can sustain yourself. Souls
Yeah.
is once again
Well,
the
it's
currency.
I think the first goal of the arena is the docile
Sure.
of the masses to
Sure.
calm everyone down, and the second is to be a showcase.
Sure. Yeah. So then you can go get.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you're
Yes.
brought on the better raids, and you're
Yeah.
given bigger contracts and stuff.
Yeah.
But
And then you also even just draw more people into your arena
Absolutely.
as well.
It's
So
almost like a feedback loop.
Yeah.
yeah, it's the circle of life.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Look, Simba. Everywhere the Kimura light touches, we don't go there. It's nasty. All right. So
In
that's
the best way. For some of
really
us.
glad you're
From
here.
a point of view.
That's why I chose them after all. I have a dark side.
To get nasty.
Yeah, that part.
Let's now talk about fighters and witches.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at those saucy minxes.
Yeah, the less clothes, the better.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah,
To
let's
sell
Many
models
reasons.
to nerds.
or people like Brianna.
I was gonna say, yeah, they got me pretty quick.
Oh my, that's a lot of skin.
I don't think you're their targeted demographic, but I think it's a refreshing change from who normally is fondling little dark
GW
Eldar
is never
models.
I
one
like to
to
think I'm
turn down a
normal.
sale.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So many Dark Eldar will feel the call of becoming a witch, both male and female. However, female form is preferable for the style of combat the witches enact. Money, power, fame all await a witch cult member if they're skilled enough.
Key word,
Yeah.
if.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna have to prove yourself. There's no
no nepotism involved in this. You can't buy a rank or whatever,
Yeah.
or buy authority. This is pure skill
Yeah.
or luck.
Why is that smile there?
I don't know. I was just, what a weird thing for me to say.
And yet not wrong at the same time.
So
I
are we
just
going-
imagine like a really high up witch, like a succubi. I think that's what they're called.
Sure.
Who's just like is
Succubus.
actually
Yeah,
really
it's
shitty at combat, but just like really lucky. It was just really funny. In
So
my
you like
head.
the Mr. Bean succubus? Is
Yeah,
what you're saying.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
Just flukes her way into it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
She's a witch's leader, so just watch yourself.
She's not actually a good fighter though. That's what I'm saying. What if it was all luck?
It's true. If I have to have her as a warlord, I'm like, yeah. Anyways, we're talking great things about them.
They're nice.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
Great.
They're pretty.
All it takes to join a witch cult is to approach the arena and enter the training pits. Few survive their first fight as a newcomer, and only the skilled will survive long in the pits. Fight after fight will be fought, weeding out the weak.
It's just a constant death mill until like you are good enough,
Yeah.
right? So it's a little bit sad.
No.
These poor Dark Eldar, just trying to make their way in Camorra, city of fallen angels.
City of Broken Dreams.
The Windy City.
Windy,
Windy City.
also known as.
Camorra.
Yeah, are we getting personal here?
Um,
What's your childhood like?
what brought you to Camorra?
Yeah.
Business or pleasure?
A little bit of A, a little bit of B. I was going to just mention, too, on the male-female dichotomy, women can only excel in the ranks, too. It is intentionally
Yeah.
matriarchal.
You can. Their leaders are always women.
Yes,
but
yeah.
you can be a rank and file male.
Male witch, yes. But there's a clear distinction.
Yeah,
so, like, even if
yeah.
you're a skilled male fighter, you're not going to become a leader.
I think you could go both routes on this. I think you
it's
could.
pretty clear.
I would agree with Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
should've brought
For
my
anyone who
book.
wanted to bring a male... What?
I said I should have brought my book. We could have got it.
No. It's when I read it out of the codex, because I did, like the impression I got is that normally
Yeah.
like the understanding is that males are not advanced. But if a male was suitably like skilled enough.
Yeah, if some Dark Elder just
Yeah.
goes in there
But
and
that's
beats
exactly
up all the women,
the
and more
opposite.
women
Right,
try to beat him up,
exactly.
he just keeps beating the
If
shit
there
out of
literally
women.
was not a single
Yeah.
person who could stop him,
Yeah.
why would they not become the leader?
Because they have an institutional rule that doesn't allow that.
But it's also kind of isn't, because the way entire Dark Eldar works is that one of the quickest, easiest, and best ways to get your
rank
growing.
yes
to grow.
to grow the show. Showers grow. No, what am I? To take like your
Clearly, your mind is in no place to have a
person.
discussion.
Have you grown in a while? No, grow.
Are you growing right now?
Yeah.
Moving on.
No, I'm not done this thought. If you were a witch and a Hecatrix is in charge of your squad, and the quickest way to earn a Hecatrix spot is to kill that Hecatrix, prove your worth, and take it as your own. So why couldn't you do that with the Prima Succubi?
Because there's a rule that you can't.
There
if
is
you're
no
a dude.
rule. But
They
it
have-
is their tradition that only females are Prima Succubi, and also because the style that witches are trained in is specifically suited to the female body. Those are the actual reasons that they give in the Codex. It never explicitly states that it's a rule.
I think it states so that there are no.
Yes, there aren't, because there has yet to be a guy who
There has
is
yet to be, or
capable
they
of doing that.
don't allow it.
Why-
Either one.
How would you not allow that if you're assassinated?
We're
They'll
like
become
gender
progressive.
neutral here, guys.
You
like,
thought Komoro was the most
guys can
progressive
still
city,
be
but it's
and
not.
do what girls can do, and
Yeah. Jeez, you bunch of.
like Eric, don't get so heated, you guys. Like,
This is fictional. This is not.
Brianna's
real.
trying to be an agent for
Yeah,
change
yeah.
with her witch cult.
But yeah, like there's no rule, and assassinations happen all the time in Camorra, right? Like you're saying, like maybe, you're saying it's
because
not
it's
allowed,
not
but
this.
Vect.
The rules
you
are
think
different.
Vect
The
has
rules are
never.
different.
You think Vect allows people to assassinate him?
Archons are different than witch cults leaders.
But
They
that-
are. They
that-
are. They're
no,
different
that
roles. They're
culture
different positions.
pervades all of
Can you stop them
Camorra.
for me?
COVID, not allowed to go within 6 meters of people.
6
No.
meters.
The culture of assassination and politicking is
not the
every-
same in a
It
witch cult.
is. It
Absolutely
still
not.
is.
No, because you can still buy influence, you can trade influence, you can do those things outside of the witch cult. The witch cult operates.
You don't
under
think
its
people
own
advance
rules.
by skill in the witch cult?
I did say that.
I think that Eric could be a witch if he needed to become a witch.
I think that's why he's
I'm
fighting
not
so
fast
hard.
enough.
No, I agree with both of you. I agree that they're. No. Like,
I'm just kidding.
like
Fence sitter.
we don't have a single example of a male succubus.
Correct.
Could it happen? Absolutely. I don't think this is not one of those questions to me where it's like male and female space marines. We know genetically it's impossible to do female space.
Right.
It's not one of those questions. It's
But
more,
I
it
think
just
Christian
has,
is saying it is like that.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
No, well,
But-
not genetic. I'm just
not
saying
genetic,
it's
but-
institutional. Like if they have a rule that says, "Hey, no boys allowed."
But rules can be broken, though. Is the
Oh
thing.
my god.
Especially in Kimura.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sisters of
exactly.
Battle. Are there male Sisters of Battle?
No.
No, because
Why?
the Imperium chooses to follow those rules.
Because they
And-
made rules.
But they're way
That's
more.
not Kimura. That's
Yeah,
the
the-
Imperium.
the
who are
witch
way more
cult
dug
has
into,
its
like, their-
own series of traditions and rules.
and you're
whatever
right.
They abide
They're
by.
never broken.
Well,
Kimura isn't a breeding ground of betrayal and treason and assassination.
but they don't.
You're right, Christian. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
all the males there would be like, oh, okay, all right.
Oh.
I'll just sit
Yeah,
by.
I guess we'll just not be witches.
I'm so bored,
but
but
some
whatever.
do some like that.
Right. And some might excel
Christian
so
has
much.
his own plans for what they do there.
He's got it all planned
Yeah.
out.
I think that saying it's I personally would not like to see someone's all witch army with Prima Succubi being a male witch and all the Hecatrixes being male witches, and instead of blood brides, it's blood grooms. I would not like to see that. But if you had a suitable reason for there being a male higher upper in your witch cult, I wouldn't say that's breaking lore at all.
So you're saying, like, on the table, if someone did like a kit bash or they used some, whatever they wanted to do to bump them up and make them look good.
Are you talking about
learning.
Summon a sex
Turning a
demon?
witch into a...
Are you talking about a regular witch?
I'm just so curious of how...
Well, 'cause
'cause
regular-
can you even buy a male? Like, you'd have to kit bash that
No,
stuff.
they have males in their
Do they
kits.
really?
They have them in the
yeah.
base kit, but they don't have any leaders. that are-
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
rank
like
and
for my...
rank and file witches can be male
Or female.
Yeah.
or female, but it still will be
like
primarily
banshees.
female. But there are no leaders of witch cults. There are no examples that we have of males. Whereas Christian thinks it's a hard and fast rule that will never be broken, and I think it's much more fluid in Kimura than that. So that's the difference.
And I think it's a hard and fast rule that is yet to be broken.
But
That's all
saying-
rules.
not
Like
saying
Mark
that it
likes to play
can't be.
Warhammer. All rules are meant to be broken.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's the intention.
Technically,
What's
I'm
the
not. I'm not even breaking the rules.
Look, guys, it clearly says the intention of my gun is to kill your model.
Exactly. I rolled dice.
Yeah.
I laughed. I had a good time.
I
Get
killed
your
the model.
out of
Take
here.
it out of there. Roll your morale. But yeah, I guess that just comes
see.
down to a difference of opinion, Christian.
Well, you
one
know what?
opinion is right and one opinion is wrong.
Right.
We're
yeah,
gonna
at least you're
settle
realizing that
this
you're
after
wrong.
the podcast when we start up our Gladiatorial.
Gladiator
arena.
arena.
Yeah.
Brianna's
And
gonna
Eric
win.
will be the first succubus.
They're actually called incubuses,
Oh.
male versions of succubus.
But the incubus
Got
already
me
have
there.
a role.
Yeah, they do.
I'm
It's 'cause
just
of the
trying to
naming.
let
Hey,
him be a
I'm just trying to
succubus.
sound
Dracite.
smart.
I'll be a Dracite.
Okay, there, we have him happy. We are good.
Okay, everyone's fully aroused again, right? We're all back to that
I'll
state.
be an Archite.
Okay,
That's the male name for a succubi.
I'm going with it. I'll allow
So
it.
he hosts,
Look at that
he
face.
fights. We're all good here.
Where are we?
Point 3.
Are we? Okay. Witch
well.
cults are led by a prima succubus that has a conclave of lesser succubi followers. And each of those succubi will lead groups of 20 to 60 witches called circles.
Yeah. Yeah, and like
It's a very easy hierarchy to see.
Sure.
Very, very simple. Actually, I think a lot of the Dark Eldar ones, it's very like, hey, there's like 4 levels, 3
Sure,
levels.
sure.
Like homunculi are very similar.
And it gets even easier when you pare it down. It's like a gynocentric, so it's all just women. So it's very clearly defined. Just-
so
okay.
we're back to point 2 now.
It's like, why do I speak?
Carry on,
But
Eric.
yeah, there's no limit to the
All
number
around
of
me are familiar places.
so mad.
You're gonna get this podcast
Do you need
copyright
fresh air?
struck.
Nah. Wasn't
I think
that
Mark
close.
pees behind the garage. If that's what we have to do.
Think. You seen.
You know.
You know what goes on
Don't
back there.
pretend
Yeah,
like you don't know.
yeah.
We had a
Right.
pissing war the other
I
night.
was
You
just
know I
trying-
just piss everywhere.
He's just
It's like a
He's
friend
claiming-
of a friend possibly might do that, but you know it's you.
yeah. I have this friend.
Yeah.
Let's call him Mark.
Sorry, Mark.
It's a common
And he
name.
pees out in the garage,
Yeah.
right?
No relation to Mark that we know.
Aha.
Okay.
So Witch Cults, yeah. So the Prima Succubi leads it, and they can have any number of just
Lesser
regular,
succubi.
yeah, lesser succubi.
Yeah.
There's
How
no
big is
limit.
your cult, right? How famous is your
Yeah.
cult? How powerful is it, right?
And I even think the succubi, the group, they lead circles of 20 to 60 witches. I think that's more just like a tabletop thing, more
Yeah.
so than like
A hard
an
and fast.
actual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it states it as a rule, but like
what did
many
they
things,
intend?
many things
What's
in
the
Camorra,
intention?
rules are broken
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
Tradition is mangled in the face of grabbing power
Yes.
By its two
by the males.
round.
But yeah, no one says like each circle has to have 20 or 60. They could have 80. They could have 5.
Yeah,
I
for
would
sure.
not care how many you claimed were in your circle.
Yeah, like exactly. They might just take other succubus from other cults and try to make like just the most elite gladiatorial arena possible.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your cult, your call. That's what I always say.
That's yep.
I'm gonna say
It works.
I got.
Your
I want that
cult's your
tattooed
cult.
on my arm, but then just like a Warhammer symbol. So I'm like, no,
Well,
no,
you do the
get
symbol of like Slanesh behind it.
Will it do like the quote and then Eric? Will you attribute it to him? Or
It. Oh, I mean, yeah, of course. Like you'll
That's
get
right.
Yeah, you're not
well,
scum.
I'll sue you if
No,
you don't.
yeah, exactly.
It'll bring the full weight of
I'll have
Warhammers.
a beard.
So witches, a witch is the first step on the path in the gladiatorial pits. They are capable of incredible violence and feats of skill. They are highly proficient at close quarters combat and practice their skills for their entire lives. Might be short. Witches often use a cocktail of combat-enhancing drugs to improve their performance on the battlefield, which is a very Dark Eldar thing to do, is the use of drugs.
Yeah.
Very, very common. And it's a very awesome thing. It's very cool specifically
Yes.
for Dark Eldar.
Meth is fun, and it does make you.
It is when
violent.
it's space meth. Space cocaine.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah,
You knock it till you try it. Okay.
Exactly.
that's right. Christian, you're just a virgin who can't drive.
I am both of those things. This is all the worst official artwork
Why?
in all of Warhammer. I don't know. I've just always hated this picture.
That specific
That
picture?
specific picture.
Well, tell us why.
Just the limbs.
Did she break
Oh, so
your
like
heart?
you're just insulting the artist right now.
Did you date her at one point? And no.
She rejected him. That's
Messy
what it was.
end?
He asked
But
her
have you
and
tried
she
to
didn't say
Who's the
paint
girl
a
in
body
Tiger King
figure?
that he's always mad at?
Goddamn Carol Baskin.
That's her name. That's her.
Fuck Carol Baskin.
Now I'm offended. Again.
No, I just always hated that one. Sorry.
Weird.
Slide. Both of you. Weird. That's odd, Christian,
Well, I
that
just-
you have taste in
there's-
art.
Why don't you paint one and then bring
No,
it
no,
in?
no. I don't hate Dark Eldar. I just this.
Oh yeah, the
this
painting.
painting.
You
This
should just
particular
paint
one.
your own.
Seems odd because there are some
In
so
the
much
codex.
better.
there's some wacky 40K artwork out there.
Yeah, let me actually pull up the worst.
We're really gonna
It's actually
diverge
my
here.
favorite.
All right, if you guys want to actually continue the Witch Cult episode, just skip ahead probably like 10,
A
20,
day.
20 minutes. How long is this going to take?
2 minutes. I got it right here.
Oh, thank God. I was getting nervous.
Okay, so this is by far the worst official 40K artwork. It's a picture of 2 ultramarines dancing with each other.
Yeah, but that one's great.
And it
But also you're forgetting the fact that that's awesome.
And it's no longer canon.
Oh, well, what do you
there's
mean? It's
ultramarines in the
official?
background cheering him on.
Yeah. No, I know it was official once, but
He's got a rose in his mouth.
I like this guy right here.
He's dabbing.
also there is something that bothers me about power armor without gauntlets. I don't know why.
So is that picture better or is the Dark Eldar picture better?
Well, I mean, this is not even real.
It's official.
Anymore.
It
It's
is
not
real.
anymore, though.
It is real.
Dance steps
To
for
decanonize.
GW's Space Hulk game.
Have
okay,
you-
so
Have they come out and said that's not official?
So we're forced to believe that this is real until
Do
they
you
make an official statement.
Do you think there's no chapter out there that could exist for the Ultramarine successor chapters that enjoys dancing?
You're killing me. Eric.
It's a very
Loaded
athletic endeavor. Dancing
Absolutely. No,
properly.
it's very good for the cardio.
exactly.
You know, that could
And you have to have a good core.
So what's a better picture, Christian?
I think a lot
You're
of
just
them-
proving my point.
So you're saying
If
that's
we're
a better
justifying,
picture.
no, I'm not.
What's a better picture?
They're both bad. Can they both be
Oh,
bad?
boy.
Why does it have
No,
to
because
be
you said that one's your worst favorite.
Well,
my worst favorite? No,
What are you doing?
Worst-
Just drag the bar away.
I closed the actual slideshow.
Oh, it's okay.
I've been called good looking, but never intelligent.
Who calls you good looking?
My mom,
Oh, well,
my grandma.
that's fine.
Such a good looking, handsome man you are.
Let's while you're doing that, let's go back to witches. We just talked about their combat enhancing drugs that they commonly use and is a very cool and common thing even just within Camorra itself. So there are 4 main combat styles that a witch may pursue. So the most common is using blades and a splinter pistol. There's like a preference that witches seem to have, and since they value speed over everything else, the blade, like a short one-handed blade, maybe even a dagger in size, I don't know, it's normally described as very short-handed, very short blade, but that, like in both hands, is like the pinnacle of what any witch would hope to go for. And we'll talk later about someone who claims that as their actual style, and is even often called like the best witch to ever exist. So she is the pinnacle.
I like the name you're gonna speak of.
Yeah, well, obviously, you know, it's such an iconic witch, but that's like the goal. The goal is to be so fast and so good that you have 2 blades in each, drugs pumping through your system, and you just kill beautifully.
Yeah.
But there are other ways that they also like to train.
Yeah. Did you say the first one with the blade and the splinter?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was focused.
I know. You got
so
it, big
the
boy.
next one is Lacerii.
Laceri, laceri, laceri.
So they use specialized razor flail, swinging in vast sweeps, easily severing.
Is that the razor flail?
That's a razor
So
flail.
it's a whip with big blades all over it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a flail with razors. Whip.
Yeah.
Whip flail razors. Razor flail whips.
Yes, sir. All of those things.
I get it. I get why they call them razor flails now. It makes sense.
Basically, take a bunch of X-Acto blades, tie them to a string, just start fucking whipping that thing around.
This
You
message
gotcha.
brought to you by Lorehammer. Please don't ever do that.
Wow. Join
Nope.
our gladiatorial fighting pit.
Yeah, you got to be here for
Only
that, though.
do it here.
Yes, in supervised. We're
Yes.
We're trained.
We're board certified.
Yeah.
To hold gladiator matches.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Christian, for certifying.
certified. Yes. We appreciate that 5-minute course we had to do to get these laminated.
So the next fighting style,
The Arachne, and they use a shard net and impaler combo. The impaler being a long, wickedly sharp close combat weapon, whilst the electrified shard net leaves opponents unable to strike back at the wielder.
Christian, you might know, what is that in typical Roman gladiatorial combat? What is that fighting style where you're using the net?
And the spear, the trident.
I think it's Rotarius, but
But yeah, that's what this
It's a
one
very
is.
common
Yeah,
Rotarius.
you got a net that is literally like an electric net that you throw on people and then you stab them.
Stabby stab with a wickedly sharp, long
Sorry,
weapon.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. It wouldn't be Eldar if it wasn't wickedly sharp.
is it monomolecular tipped?
It probably is. And then the very last one we have are the Hydrae, and they use Hydra gauntlets, which grow crystal blades for the wielder to use in all manner of lethal ways. It's to me, it makes me think of Wolverine, like blades just growing
sure,
out.
sure,
of,
sure.
Or, yeah, that's all I think.
Is it
of.
organic?
I don't think so. The crystals.
I guess
maybe
crystals
they are.
do grow though. They're
Yeah,
not organic.
yeah.
But
Maybe
they
they
do grow.
like it's not biological. Like it's not, I don't think it's part of your
No, no.
body.
No.
They're just gauntlets that you put on.
Yeah, but they grow on the gauntlet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
like
think
they're
so.
quick growing too. So you like
You
during
can- so you
combat
can change their
break one
shape.
up and like
What if
chuck
you
it
just like
and-
change
Sure.
the shape to how it be
Or you
going
punch
out
someone
this
and it
way?
shatters into their face, and then it like regrows.
Sure.
And you punch them again.
Yeah.
And new ones
Yeah.
get like lodged in their flesh.
That's nice.
That's way better.
For who?
For the victim and the victor.
It's just like that.
Well, if that's your kind of
beautiful,
thing.
like warm light on their face.
It's like the
Glass
sun.
splinters.
Yeah.
Just
So those are the four most common styles, but really, like, they might go in with just bare knuckles and beat the shit out of a bunch of farmers. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Hiding little blades
Some
on all
exotic
their-
weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alien
Grow their
rifle.
fingernails really long.
Women. You
Women
know?
things.
So-
Yeah, the guys wouldn't grow their nails.
No.
That would
They would
slow
do their
them down.
toenails.
Oh yeah. That's what
They'll
I'm asking.
scratch you with their toenails.
Like a cat on
But
his back.
only if you're in bed.
We're
All
cat
right.
people here.
Let's go to our next one, which is the Hecatrix. And the Hecatrix is a title given to a leader of groups of 10 to 20 witches. Obviously, the Hecatrix is going to know the perfect time to strike, but also have access to a greater variety of war gear than the standard witches.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't even know if that's represented on tabletop.
It
but-
is. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I feel like in almost every single like faction we've ever talked about, the one up always has more access, and the other, and then he has more access. And
Yeah,
more,
yeah.
Until you get to like your commander who can pick up whatever they want. So you should just understand.
Perfect.
that.
You should just understand. It's not up to me to do the research. It's up to you to know.
The more you know.
I would also argue,
you know.
on top of that,
Yeah.
on top of being exclusively female, they also have to be redheaded.
No, I
I would hope so.
I know you're just joking.
Well, they're just dyeing their head in the blood
I
of
just
their
think
enemies.
the artist
Why is
has
everyone
a
hotter when they're red? Like I hate it.
No, I'm pretty sure
I'm
that's
not
like
painting them red.
Well,
because
it's blood. It's the blood that they're trying to avoid.
They don't wash their hair.
Yeah. No, they're just literally trying to add a splash of red to symbolize blood.
No,
I just think
you
that
know what?
GW
I'm
artist in
lying. I think
particular
it's
has a
so
thing for
hot, and
redheads.
mine are red too. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just jealous because I don't have red hair.
I used
All
reused a
redheads.
piece of art.
Oh God.
Oh my
We're-
god.
We should just get one of me, like.
We'll Photoshop your head on.
Yeah,
Which
like
one
a-
do you want to be Photoshopped on?
Oh, I want the one over there for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, look at
the
her shine there.
less, the less clothes, the better.
Oh yeah, I mean that.
That's why.
It's so, yeah.
So the next
I didn't
after
realize it's so
Hecatrixes, we have our blood brides. On occasion, a succubus will form together an elite killing squad of Hecatrixes. These are called blood brides. One of the Hecatrixes will then take on the title of Siren and then lead them, presumably until they're done their bloodbath, and they just go back to their squads of
Yeah.
witches.
Yeah, I think this is a very temporary.
It's not a formal group. It seems
Yeah.
like more of an informal thing.
Yeah.
But one is called the Siren,
You've
and the
been
rest
invited to our 100th gladiatorial arena match.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
taken the top 10 of our gladiators and four.
Or if they're
why
on
not?
if they're on a raid, they'll assemble a special group and like,
Yeah.
you have a particular target. You got to capture this thing that we really want, and we need really good people to go and get it.
Absolutely.
Particular slave or resource or whatever.
Yeah.
Dual role, dual function.
I feel like I want you to play my army just because like they might rise to the occasion because I feel like
Against
You are
Christian?
talking to the wrong person.
That's
Really?
the perfect person to play against.
Against, yes. Ask for advice, no.
Oh.
I haven't even played. What is
feel
it?
like you
8th
might
edition
like
now?
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
it'd be
I don't even
so
know what edition we're
perfect.
in.
Christian would just bring a bunch of D20s.
I don't-
All right, guys, I'm ready to roll.
No, it's not fair.
It's like beating up a
Just
child. You're not gonna.
No,
You'll win, but you're not gonna feel
You're
good.
the one beating up the child.
Oh, I like this end. I'm so used to the other side. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm joking about myself dying
I'm
here.
so used to getting beat up like a child. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, we all grew up like this, right? That's why.
This is normal, right?
I am redheaded. I have experienced the.
Aw.
Taste of blood.
We need some sad music right now.
Memories flow through my brain like water in the river, coursing, raging,
Rain.
What was it called? Like Ginger
emptying
Day?
into the ocean. I am empty.
Aha.
There's my haiku for the day. I try
Do
to
you feel
write
better?
one haiku every
Do
day.
you feel better?
Barely.
Like, oh, I thought maybe going there might bring back so much joy for you.
Just pay.
There's only
There's
pain.
only pain in the past.
Sorry. I thought it was
That's
good
why
to be a
you
redhead.
leave it
Look
in
at
the
how hot they are.
They are.
Why aren't you?
You idiot!
Just tried harder.
This hot! You moron!
I'm picturing Eric
But
wearing one
remember,
of these
Eric, you
suits.
could be a witch. Just try harder.
We should Photoshop Eric's face on one.
You can be that one.
Yeah.
And I'll be that one. Damn it.
No.
I'll be the one Christian hates the most. That one picture in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be that one. Anyways, we're not done talking about the hierarchy of witches yet.
Oh, right.
So the next thing up we have are lesser succubus or drakites. And drakite seems to be an old name that they've kind of abandoned in more recent editions.
Yeah, like the only reference we could find of it was from 3rd edition. So
It's every time, because there's also one, the next one is the archite. It just seemed to be a weird mirror of cabals, where it's like you have dracons and archons in cabals, and then in witch cults you had drakites and archites.
Yeah.
But in the latter editions and releases, they don't use those words anymore.
It's
It's possible that because women can become archons and dragons in regular Dark Elder Society, but only women can become higher up in the witch cult.
Again. Clearly,
Go
this is a
on.
heated topic.
this isn't even the most heated topic on this show.
I'm done. Okay, carrying on.
So lesser succubus will lead a circle of witches in training and war. They're amongst the most skilled fighters in the cult, constantly vying for the attention and favor from the prima succubus.
The leader. Mm-hmm. And then the prima succubus.
Sucks less than the lower.
You don't know how this works. She
but
might
this-
suck less.
Who's
Only
gonna
if
go
they're
there?
hot enough.
In combat, I mean.
Oh, right.
Eric.
Right.
They are cults, the leaders of the cults.
This is the prima succubus or the archite.
They are the leader of the cults. They are also always female, and the grace and beauty knows no bounds.
None.
They're said to be so skilled that not even a single scar will have been inflicted on their body.
Which is odd because we came across a story of this one prima succubus whose body was literally covered
In scars.
in scars. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's more of like one person wrote a journal entry like I've witnessed a prima succubus and
Yeah.
her flesh was unmarred by the cut of a blade or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And so then everyone accepts that as fact when
Yeah. The other
Maybe
funny
she
it doesn't
betrayed
have to.
them.
All I'm saying is
There's-
it doesn't have to be true.
Yeah.
That one.
The other funny thing we always come across when we're reading is they're like, her grace and beauty, or her beauty and her grace, and they just, her grace.
So graceful.
Grace.
Much grace.
Yeah.
Very grace.
Those are the two words if I was to
Grace
sum them
goes
up.
a long way. I don't have any, and I'm stopped.
That's why you're losing as Dark Elder.
God damn it,
That
that's
explains
why.
everything.
You lack grace.
Someone
We'll
help
sign you
me.
up for a grace class. So you can learn.
Can someone pay for it though too?
Yeah. You know
the
what?
internet?
Grace.
Yeah, subscribe
I
to
offer
our
grace
$10
classes.
Patreon.
I will be
Grace.
successful.
Gladiatorial and grace classes. Christian
I run
MD.
both.
And an arena class. Wow,
And-
guys,
yes.
this is intense.
You can get double certified.
But that's going to cost you triple. But also, if you want one, I can't offer you the other one for a break period of 3 years. So you have to get both together. Not my policy.
I don't make the rules,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
It's a
I'm
government.
saying yes though. It sounds right.
So the prima succubus is the highest it goes in a cult.
Yeah.
She's the ultimate leader of that cult.
Yeah.
But there's also other things that don't really fit within this hierarchy because you can assume that anyone who can everyone who is a prima succubus started as a witch.
Yeah.
And they earned their way up from the top. But there are some who exist who they are a part of the witch cult, but they don't exist within this hierarchy.
Yeah.
And those are beastmasters.
Sure, absolutely. So Beastmasters keep to themselves, and they keep distance from the witches and are predominantly male, unlike the mostly female witches. Yeah, I don't know why.
Because most males just can't keep up with the training that
Sure.
the witches go through.
So then they just
Sure.
go play with the
Yeah,
dog.
so then they're just like, all right, well, you can still be a part of the cult.
Yeah.
And I don't want to die.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Sure.
I know I can't make it through like all the training that these ones are doing.
Or become a leader.
Yeah.
I've hit the glass ceiling.
Exactly, because I'm physically incapable.
Because I'm a male.
Because I'm a male, I'm physically incapable.
Male are the weaker sex. I've been saying that for years.
For witches, they are.
Decades even, I've been saying that.
Have you been alive for decades?
A couple. He's got
Yes.
at least 3 under his belt.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I apologize. I'm sorry. You said something which was true, and I denied it in my own error and ignorance.
Hubris, even.
Oh, hubris. I have loads of hubris.
Just emanating from
I literally ooze
hubris.
hubris. You know? If only there was someone here who also.
Probably that red tint. It's okay though.
We'll get Christian will decertify you in your hubris.
Thank God.
So Beastmasters hunt and subjugate many wild and dangerous animals of the galaxy in order to use them in the arena performances. Some suspect that Beastmasters have roots in shamanic traditions, as when entering battle they adorn themselves in totems and masks that
Shamanic,
echo.
like a shaman.
Shaman.
Yeah,
Yeah, shamanic.
yeah. I heard schematic, and I was like, what the F is a schematic tradition?
It's the cult of the engineer.
All hail the Omniscient.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
So there often wear masks that contain complex sonic emitters and pheromone traps that can partly control the beasts. Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Seize the beast.
They also don't like to wear clothes. They
Yep.
like to go
Well,
shirtless.
I mean, they're all still going to be very competent warriors, right? Like, you
Yep.
don't.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone who's a part of the witch cult is going to train in the pits and like run through like daily things. It's not like they abandon their desire of speed over strength. They just have found that there's a thing better for them. But they still are very much in the witch cult.
Do they fight their own beasts, or do they just like send beasts to fight? Or little A, little B?
Well, it depends on the table they're
I feel like they need
sending.
A for B.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah,
it would be.
it's not
Because you would have to
unsure.
capture them somehow.
Sure, yeah.
So
but I
you'd
mean, like
have
in
to
the arena.
Beat the shit out of that T-Rex so you can then put
Why
a
not?
collar on him and name him
Okay,
Fluffy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like
Call me
Eldar
Daddy.
care about the well-being of their.
It's not Dark Eldar.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair point. On the tabletop,
I wouldn't
How are-
know.
What was your question?
how do they fight on the
Who?
tabletop? The Beastmaster, like the guy himself.
They
I
roll
don't
dice.
have one.
You don't
Move
have
on.
one? Okay.
They,
The gods.
Here's my guess. They have a move characteristic. And
Uh-huh.
you can move them that many inches on the tabletop. So
Okay.
that's my guess first. And then second, I
It
would
is
assume-
interesting because they often do go on skyboards. So sometimes they actually have two move profiles.
Or maybe even just one larger. One Beastmaster can have a larger move profile than
now
the
that's
other.
just absurd.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So while a countless
Well,
array of
depending on
beasts
which
are
ones,
used, the crowd favorite seems to be clawed fiends, razor wings, and chimeras.
Yeah.
Although, like, really, like, they'll fucking take anything they want.
This is a problem of tabletop translating to lore.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
fact that, hey, look, Games Workshop is willing to give you 3 models, and that's all
You
you're
take it or
allowed.
leave it. That's it.
exactly.
Hey,
Yeah, there's
but
no
one of
male
these models.
succubus that Games Workshop made, okay?
Those sons of bitches!
You want to fight too, Brianna? You get in the
Round
pit.
2!
Yeah.
No, but this is a problem, is the fact that there are much scarier things in the universe, in the galaxy,
And razor wings.
than razor wings or chimeras. Chimeras are actually kind of terrifying.
What's that like rag that jumps on your face and
Oh, the
face
cat-
eater?
yeah, the
Catachin
catachin.
face
Yeah,
eater.
the face eater.
Yeah, that's
or,
way more
or
scary
the,
than razor
what's
wing.
the centipede-looking one on Catachan?
Temptation Devil.
Yeah, the Catachan Devil. That's way more terrifying than a goddamn razor wing. But because they only
But the
give
razor ring has, like, there's actually
insatiable
three.
head.
Okay, I was saying that in my head. Like,
Is that what we sound like to you all the time?
But yes, this is the fact that I would like. To me, it would be so much cooler if you modeled crazy beasts and you took them from other things
That's a
and
blurry
you
photo.
put them in front of your beast.
You need to fire your photo editor.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
He's got way too much power. He is. He can't be
I
stopped.
can set up a meeting with him for you after, but you're not gonna like what you find.
You will not.
So let's talk about the 3 that they have rules for, lore for, models for. So the first is a clawed fiend. These are semi-sentient monsters caring nothing for civilization or war, only for their animalistic instincts of consuming prey. They're hulking monsters of muscle and fur with incredible senses capable of perceiving multiple spectrums at once, and are known to be at their most dangerous state after having been wounded, as the scent of their own bleeding ichor sends them into a berserk fury that few warriors will be quick enough to escape.
Yeah,
So
that's
the,
pretty cool.
The more wounded they get, the more dangerous they get.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Just like me when you hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I'm getting really angry.
You won't like me when I'm angry.
They're pretty
So
cool.
fast.
They're like 10 feet tall, like standing humanoid shaped.
Two arms, two legs.
Yeah,
A snout.
blue fur.
Anthropoid.
All right. 10 toes, 2 arms, 2
Only
legs,
4.
1 heart, 2 lungs, 2 eyes.
Are we
Your
supposed
skin.
to guess what you're?
Describe my perfect woman.
I'm describing the Loch Ness monster.
No. I think you were describing a lot of things. That was way too broad.
That's way too broad.
That's
Yeah.
the joke.
a tree. It's a tree.
Oddly enough, one of the few things I wasn't describing, but
Still a Loch Ness monster. Razor wings are up next.
He's not wrong. I just thought about that. It's a floating log.
Yeah.
Go on. Go on.
We like to have fun here.
we have fun.
We have fun.
just have fun here.
Razor wings have an insatiable hunger for bone and are incredibly swift. They attack in flocks, surrounding their prey in a deadly hurricane of knife-like feathers and razor-sharp beaks that strip the victim's flesh from their bones.
We definitely talked about these.
Yeah. These have
Razor
been
wings
around
is
for a while.
Yeah, razor wings is kind of just any
generic,
bird
yeah.
that has
Um,
these
Traits.
knife-
I think it
knife
describes a
feathers.
specific bird and also as a general.
It's like
so
Kleenex or
so
hacky sack.
when we described it, it was the
Hacky sack,
rogue
yes.
trader specific.
But it's also the same thing.
Yeah, I know, but nowadays this is canon where that rogue trader stuff is not really.
Could be overwritten. Here's my thing though.
I would say it would be overwritten at this point. Like now, razor rings, we know what they look like. This is more.
So you're saying, okay, this is more of an actual species and not
Well,
like
it's
a
described like
because razor wings back then was a category.
Yeah.
But this is describing like actually razor feathers. I'm sure there's a lot of dangerous birds that don't necessarily have razor feathers.
But still peck and claw and
yeah,
But
or like
even
10
in
feet tall
Rogue,
and
in Rogue
massive,
Trader,
kill you.
in their entry for razor wings, it specifically said these are large birds that have razor feathers. But it can be many different species, but they all are large and they all have razor feathers.
could be either. I'm not gonna die on this hill.
I am.
I'm willing to
You
kill
on
for
it.
very little.
Probably
So
a
let's
guy
go.
breeding a few different kinds of birds on the side.
Yeah, who knows what it actually
But
is.
what happened when we take this clawed fiend and breed it with this
Yeah.
razor wing?
Yeah, they're so bored.
It just ate it. It just ate it.
Yeah, really.
Why did they
Oh, my
always die?
experiments!
You're the worst beastmaster.
I'm just trying to make them friends.
Stop putting the killer animals in the same cage. Also, the makers of this have never fought a goose before, because that's the real razor wing.
They're terrifying.
They're not Canadian, very clearly, because goose would be a much better arena fighting.
This
bird.
hissing bird will flap its wings and run at you until you leave.
It will mess you up.
All right, and then the very last one that we have an entry for are chimeras. And these are warp beasts that transform into terrifying forms of long-fanged, many-eyed, sinewy, cat-like beasts. Beastmasters enter dream quests in order to hunt down chimera in the spirit realm and draw packs of them back into real space. They then enslave them as half-real nightmares that can wreak utter havoc before fading away like mist. This is
That's
a
a
very
very
cool
cool
one.
one.
Very wild, like an actual warp creature.
Mark, do you think your cat might be one of these things?
God.
It is a demon.
My
It is a
God.
demon. Yes.
Mark's cat is just waiting for him to build a suitable exoskeleton mechanical frame for it to inhabit. In true fashion
It's
of the
tried
Legio
burrowing
Auto.
inside of me and using me as its flesh puppet, but
Didn't get very
Perfect.
far.
didn't like it.
I might take it home.
Why is
train
there
it.
so much plastic in here?
This inferior body.
And that's what we have for Beastmasters.
Yeah. So up next we have
Have you ever
their.
seen the show Beastmaster?
Of course.
I've seen
Classic.
Community Beastmaster.
I'm an inventor. That's
Oh,
when
Pierce, you're
that's when
just
he does
having a bad
drugs.
trip. Yeah. Hellions and Reavers.
What's going on, man? I haven't gone piss in an hour and I keep wanting to grind my teeth. They swap drugs.
Eric is notoriously for knowing every quote from every TV show, movie, whatever.
Sometimes I don't know if it's his original joke or if it's
It's like none is original.
I don't think anything
I'm
I've
like,
shared
who's
today
that
is
from?
me.
That's from Community, what you just said!
oh, this
Eric.
is bad.
Some people think Eric is just an amalgamation of
I'm just a computer
media,
Parrot.
media just mashed into
I
a
just,
human form.
I just spit out.
Quote.
You bow for no one. Oh, he was a beautiful hobbit. You know, just
the normal things.
word vomit.
Love it.
Eric was not born; he was engineered to be this way.
And then I got out before they could hit the kill switch.
Hellions and Reapers. So while often they join in the fun and games of the arena, even raids, but while I did not write this sentence good, but while they might fight side by side, they are ultimately just Chimeric gang members.
Yeah, it's pretty common to hear about Reavers and Hellions inside the arenas or even just accompanying them on raids. And there's a couple reasons why they actually are tied decently closely to the cults, which we'll get into later, especially for one cult.
Sure. Yeah.
But
technically they're not
cult members.
They're not cult members, yeah. You can though, like you can still give like witches skyboards or like But anywho.
Yeah, there's a difference between like, does going on a board make you a Reaver, or is that like a culture that you join?
I think it's a culture. I think it's
It is.
like,
No, it is. It definitely is. Yeah.
good.
But I think people
I was like
might-
half not listening.
People might misinterpret it and say like, "Oh, I'm making my
I've
witch
become
a
a
Reaver,"
right.
which is incorrect. You're just giving it a war gear upgrade.
Just real quick, side path.
Yeah, Primus Succubus could be male. That's not.
We're not
the
revisiting
side-
that. I'm ignoring you for the rest of the podcast.
Not the first one.
Just all of Dark Elder societies, like you have these diasporic groups that come together and form like a greater collective. So you have like witch cults existing within the greater society that's like run by a bunch of different cabals that are each independent cultures, also who will make alliances with gangs of Reavers that are like running through the streets of the city. Like it's all these like very independent groups working together.
Yeah. And it's all very fluid too.
Yeah, exactly.
Power,
it's
power
very interesting.
constantly shifts between these different
Yeah,
factions.
and exactly. And they're
Yeah,
looking
that's
to
what was
undercut each
confusing
other.
me because, like, even when it comes to combat drugs and stuff, when you're playing, like, they're a lot of them
Brianna,
have
you're not
it,
supposed to
right?
take the drugs before you play.
Guys, I'm so much stronger
Don't
now.
want to test me. It's
In the rules.
Table flip.
I've been working on my grace.
First,
But-
I do a boatload of cocaine, and then we play.
Yeah.
Then we play 40K.
Smack down on the model. Let's go.
So ready. Yeah.
Guys, I better win this because if I don't, you're all going to die and I'm going to eat your faces. All right. Raids. Let's talk about witch cult raids.
Oh, that's a good picture for once.
Oh, that's a nice one.
I don't like it.
You son of a bitch, that's your least favorite?
Now, Mark. You ain't causing no trouble. Raids. While it's not unheard of for cults to perform their own real space raids, it is much more common for them to fight as mercenaries for cabals.
Sure.
Thank you. Even though most cults might disdain and sneer at the lesser race's champions, witches will still feel a sense of pride for killing some foes.
Sure.
Some even keep trophies of space marines, orc war bosses, or hive tyrants, and then obviously will be displaying them in either their personal trophy rooms,
Bed hole, I think.
bed hole,
Yeah.
or probably more commonly, they're witch cult museums. Any trophy that you bring back is only a good thing for the notoriety of your witch cult, right? So I brought back 500 Space Marine heads. Well, great. Person of the other cult B, Mark, only brought back one human head.
Yeah, but you
I
got
rest
me.
my case.
Real space raids often offer another benefit besides proving your battle prowess. They are also invaluable slave catching opportunities, and slaves are ever the currency in Cormora. Even more so for the witches, as they need multitude of bodies for their performances in the arenas.
Yeah. But it's... You can't discount the fact that they also need to go on raids to sustain their coliseums, because if all of a sudden there's no bodies in the coliseums, people won't come and they won't get contracts. So they also have to put themselves in this place where they're in a position to gather
go on
slaves.
raids,
Yeah. Battles in real space are as much of a show as battles in the arena are. Witches use all their skills that they have gained to perform expert cuts on their foes. They will bleed, toy, and torment their opponents as if there were millions of Drukhari watching them. because sometimes there are.
Tell me more.
Since a real space raid and battle offers a completely different experience from an arena fight, one is staged, still dangerous, but it's staged.
Sometimes the odds are in favor of the witches.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's very
Controlled.
Yes, it's a very controlled environment, whereas battle is different. And so Dark Eldar pleasure barges sometimes accompany the witches as they participate in raids. Presumably given to the highest bidder, those on the pleasure barges soar high above the battles, watching the witches give pain and suffering to the enemies. And it's even described that as their agonies rise up from the battle, these Dark Eldar on the barge feast on these death that rises from the beings that the witches are fighting. So it still is very much still matters how a witch is killing their opponent, even in a real battle.
They're going to increase their suffering.
Absolutely, yes. It's still very much purposeful in each cut they do, each shot that they take. So yeah, and it's very much a feast. It's described as they're supping wines and they're eating meals. They're bidding.
Yeah.
On what's happening in a real-time
Placing
battle
bets,
below them. Yeah, maybe they're bidding on a witch is going to die or how many trophies a witch is
battle
going
we
to
are
take.
losing. What are the chances we're going to get out of here alive?
Why would
I'll take that bet.
Wouldn't the ultimate bet be battling gambling your own life?
Yeah.
Right? No, it's very cool to think about how hedonistic this race is. They're literally willing to put themselves in danger.
Most hedonism ends up self-destructive, but yeah, they're willfully, blatantly self-destructive.
Absolutely, yes. But it's very fun. The more you learn about the depth of their depravity, the more twisted they seem. Which is obviously they are, but I feel a lot of times we're oh, they're just edgy Eldar. But
Yeah.
nope, not quite, not even a little bit.
Yeah. So that's kind of the real space raids. They go out, collect souls, torture people. It's fun.
Act as mercenaries.
Yep.
Kill targets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fight alongside.
Inspire
claws.
terror.
Sure.
If you had to be them or someone fighting for religion, don't you think that sounds so fun? I mean, that's why I bought them. Is everyone else in the room wow?
But now hear me
They
out.
are having
That
a
sounds
good,
so
they are having a
exciting.
good time.
Counter
Yeah,
argument
deny that.
though,
Good time.
you yourself collect Sisters of Battle for religion.
I mean, the Repentions are my favorite. Though, still.
so
Yikes.
Yeah. and I have green stuff over a lot of my ladies. So,
I can imagine which part.
as soon as they open up a
Give them
storyline where I can.
There's actual models you can buy where the breasts are fully exposed.
Yeah, but I don't know the website. Everyone else does.
We'll never tell you.
Yeah, we especially not here. We're advertising for this.
Don't
only
Google
tonight. Yeah.
Mark.
Oh,
He's just
I like
typing
it.
boobies into Google.
Yeah, which
Mark,
boobies?
did you not put in 40K? No, the computer knows.
It knows my search
He types in
history
boobies,
well
it's
enough.
literally only models. That's the algorithm Google has.
It's not
worked
even
out
his
for
wife
him.
has it so tight. It's it's no, I need to find it.
Holy.
Ooh. If I remember, I'll send you the link to the one.
Good.
So we'll get it after, yeah.
Oh,
Good,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Let's talk now about a witch cult's fighting style
You are so bad at this.
and preferences.
It all looks like shit on the camera. I mean, it's
Yeah,
amazing
yeah.
on the camera. You can see every detail.
Yeah, you should definitely pay money to our
$1.
page. $2.
$2.99.
Video.
So they can.
Final offer.
$4.99 final.
And Christian will certify
pay
you
you?
to open your own gladiatorial pit.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a great deal.
So fighting style
If
and
you're
preferences.
under 18.
Yeah. No, you can still get this.
Oh, good.
I think I don't remember what the age limit for Patreon is.
I'd imagine you need a credit card.
Yeah,
or
but you
some
can
way to pay.
some of your cards now though, you just have a debit card and it can function.
Yeah, it's like a
the
debit
credit
Visa.
card. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So.
Sure.
Ask your parents
You must
to
be
give you their
this
credit card
mature
number.
to
Right?
ride.
And then come
Yeah.
over to our cult trainings.
The call of the cults.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Your choice.
which cults are known for their stunning speed and grace?
Look at that speed. Look at that grace. Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
girl.
Thanks for the seizure.
See, it's not that good because you're not actually a witch.
It would have been so much better.
I'll go play
You're
with my
male.
cats and be a beast master.
So they have so much speed and grace, they put even the regular lightning-fast Dark Eldar raids to shame. The cults don't only focus on killing, but also the art of the kill, making it as stylized, painful, and drawn out as possible.
That's fun.
To this end, witches idolize fighting with small, single-handed blades. The cults believe that speed always trumps strength, and nothing lends itself to quick cuts better than a single blade in each hand.
They've never met Wolverine. 3, 6.
But this is like you might not see a lot of witches on the tabletop or even in artwork that are just holding blades. In fact, the majority I see all have whips of like witch artwork.
But it's a standard loadout, and then you upgrade with the extra
it's
weapons.
tabletop aside, like the blades is like what each witch is trying to achieve. Each one is trying to get, like, a whip offers range, a pistol offers range.
They're trying to get close and like work their way up to
fighting with two blades is not a very good decision because you need to be very close and you can't parry for shit. Like, you literally have to outspeed them so fast. So most people can't do that, so they fill the gaps in what they're capable of by also taking a gun, by taking a whip, by putting more drugs or whatever. But this is what they're all trying to attain, yes. And that's like why you very rarely see actually like models with only two blades, because most witches just can't do it.
Right.
But there's one who can. More on that later. So a common
It's going to be
tactic,
great when the episode ends and then you have to say, and on the next episode of Dark Eldar,
find out about the dual-bladed witch herself. Sorry.
A common tactic for Dark Eldar witches will be to fly directly at the enemies on raiders or venoms, only to jump off their transports at the last second and viciously kill anyone who opposes them in a fury of blows.
Quick
Very
kills, quick engagements, not loitering long, not trying to draw out any engagement. But not every encounter with witches ends in death. You might just be captured in their nets and dragged back to the arena to be killed there.
That's nice. Yeah, that's nice. You have a chance to live.
For a little bit.
And then you can rise up in the gladiatorial pit.
That's right.
And you can be the first human male witch called
Succubus.
Close your eyes, Eric. It's gonna be one day.
That's gonna be you, my boy. You'll be so grand.
My boy.
That'll be your name.
Grand.
Yeah, you had him at daddy.
Not the first time I've...
Big Daddy Eric.
Oh, no.
Not the first time he's gone by that name. Don't Google it. You're going to see Eric like you've never seen Eric before.
I think Eric wants to be the little spoon.
He's a little spoon
For
kind of guy.
once.
isn't he?
Everybody wants to be the little spoon.
Okay.
Nobody thinks the big spoon is better than the little spoon.
Definitely better.
The little is better.
No.
The little spoon is 100% better.
I mean, like, when the guy's like, can I be little spoon? I'm like, really?
No. Is it because you don't like being the big spoon?
Oh, it's like,
Because the little spoon is better?
I mean, technically, yeah, I like my back warm. What if we could both roll like back to back and then we were
You just
both-
need a
No one's
third
being
person.
spooned at that point. You're being forked.
I'm a person sandwich kind of guy. I like one on each side and me in
With
the middle.
Christian's quick 10-minute course, you should be certified.
To make a person sandwich.
And then you can hire yourself out to join other couples to complete their... So
We're gonna get
everyone,
ratings
everyone can be the little spoon.
Am I running a brothel now?
pretty
you're just
quickly. That's for sure.
Jack of all trades.
My fingers in a lot of pies.
Okay.
Moving on.
Bye. So we're going to talk about their war gear. First up, all witches have what's called a witch suit, but few witch suits ever look alike. Each one is personalized for the wearer, accenting specific aspects of the wearer. But a common feature is to have one half of the body exposed with bare flesh, and the other half that faces the opponent to be armored.
Yes, these weapons do look like armor.
I don't know why we're looking at the camera, but we follow Eric Slade.
Why are you following my lead?
I don't know, you're the main host.
I'm not here.
I'm just a guy that makes dick jokes every now and again.
Yeah, that's true.
So-
Witch suits, did you explain why they're exposed?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah, you used my words. I'm a verbal wordsmith, as we all know.
Motherfucking lyrical wordsmith.
Yes, sir. Yes.
His favorite word.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you actually? Or are you
Yeah, I'm gonna
joking?
delete this too, so you can't see if I wrote it down.
Damn it.
So splinter pistols are up next.
Oh my god. I need you to actually undo that, Mark.
They did
And
damage.
fuck,
Undo that.
I'm trying.
Put it back. Put it back.
It's gone forever.
I'm doing it.
So is this the part where we fast forward for a while?
Stop.
No.
Okay, there we go.
No, it's always live.
Oh, good.
The audience likes to suffer with us.
Okay, now that.
We are
panic.
suffering. Hey, Christian.
Did you tell them
Oh, yeah.
why
Lay down
they
when I
expose
come
their
here.
bare flesh?
Because they like to show their supple curves. Wouldn't you if you were built like that? You do, and
He
you aren't
does,
even
that's
built
why
like
he
that.
wants to.
Nobody appreciates my subtle curves.
Your body's not art.
It is.
You look like a Necron, Eric.
Necronter.
At least I'm not a robot.
Inside.
So, okay, Eric, why? Why do they look like
It's
that?
a taunt.
Yes, Eric's right.
They don't feel the need. They are so confident in their abilities that
Yeah,
they're
they're like, I don't even need
Yeah,
armor.
come at me. Like I'm unarmored, and I'm still going to beat the shit out of you. You know, I'll expose my flesh to you, and you can see the fact that look, there aren't any scars on this body. I fight all the time, and so that's what it is. It's a proof of how good they are and how much they believe in themselves. It's not just because they're trying to be
Or-
sexy.
Arrogant.
Yeah, it's an arrogance.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you got to think of their speed too. I mean, you think of those.
And that's the other
space
side of
marines,
it
like,
too. There's a practical side of they are
Yeah.
faster because
But
they're not
you,
weighed
you
down.
could just wear like a polyurethane covering and have not your skin exposed, or wear a hollow fields, or there's many ways to protect yourself, and they are explicitly showing flesh.
right
There's
as a taunt.
Yes. It's a sign of their arrogance.
Yeah, this is like the one time I'll ever agree with Eric. But yeah,
You
That's
heard it
nice.
here, folks. Christian said I was right.
I didn't
I feel
say
like
that.
there's a weird
I said I
energy
agree with
happening
you.
now.
No, you said I was right.
Splinter pistols shoot a solidified and crystallized neurotoxin spike. And our favorite sidearm of Dark Eldar. It's like all splinter tech that they use. It just shoots a spike.
Just.
Just a fucking
This whole
neurotoxic
time I've been
spike.
quiet about a lot of it. I'm like, you know what? Sorry.
you guys. It's cool. It's cool. So cool. It's very cool.
We're not saying they aren't cool.
Oh no.
We just go through a lot. Sorry.
No, I mean you compare a splinter pistol to any one of your guns, and I want to cry. So it's okay. Go on.
Agonizer whips. They're designed to attach themselves to a victim's nervous system, take control of it, and inflict intense pain, which can disable or kill a victim. That's nice.
Delightful.
So those were the two that, well, the one really that I found was particularly cool was the Agonizer whip. But really, like, Dark Eldar will use all manner of bladed weapons, flails, whips, or other deadly tools, often coated in deadly poisons. So, sometimes they have spears, whatever. We can't go through them all because
Tonfas, nunchucks.
Name some more.
Yeah. We're waiting on
I'm all out.
That's all he got.
All ninja shit.
Yeah. So the splinter pistols and agonizer whips, those are like pretty iconic things.
Yeah.
But you're very right. Any type of blade, like what's your preference? Do you want a foot long blade? Do you want a 3 foot long blade?
Do you like it
want
curved,
do you want a
slightly to the left?
6-inch blade?
Does your blade grow?
Yeah. Or are you showing your blade to
I don't think
everyone?
the size of the blade matters. It's how you use it.
How girthy is
Yeah.
the blade?
Yeah, who knows? It's all up to
Is
you.
your blade really just a club?
It's all up
Is
to
it
the
so
woman's
girthy it's
preference.
just a club? There's no edge on this blade.
Is your blade a metal pipe? Just a pipe.
Bludgeon your enemy.
But yeah, I think the really much more normalized thing is the drugs, the toxins and the poisons that they use.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
And some of them have like crazy effects where they'll actually like bulk you up potentially, or maybe these Dark Eldar wouldn't use them because they like their speed, but those ones do exist. Like they actually do have crazy drugs that could very much change what you are.
If you remember to put them as part of when you're playing. Can't tell you how many times I'm like, oh, I forgot I had that combat.
and you
drug,"
wonder
and
why
I-
you lose, Brianna.
Yeah, there's a lot
pretty
to
sure
remember.
combat drugs are a pretty big part of your.
It's a pretty big part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe I will win. Maybe I will win with my D20s.
I think I want to play her now.
So aside from poisons and toxins meant to hinder or kill their opponents, they also use drugs to help themselves. We said that a couple times.
Sure.
And that's also what you're talking about, the fact that they roid themselves up. They make them faster. They perceive things better.
They even have drugs that could grow another arm for them. Like, some of their drugs are wild.
Almost anything you can imagine,
Yeah.
you can buy it in Kimura.
Yeah.
Like, it's Kimura.
Yeah. You grow another arm for an hour and then it falls off.
Oh,
I like it.
that's
The cool
crazy.
thing too is their leadership when you're doing like morale. They stay like they have a high leadership role. So I feel like, do you want to fight me on that? Do you guys have a higher one than I
Don't they
do?
have like a 7?
8?
They
7 or
get
8.
a lot of benefits, and then like on turn 4 they become fearless.
It's like
I think.
one benefit, I think.
I mean, like until you start to break them down. But what are you wanting?
I do have
I
a
feel
higher
a little. I
leadership
feel a
than that.
little insecure. Oh well, listen, they're just witches.
Don't pay attention to him. He's just a sour old Eric.
But I mean, like, okay, fine.
No, they do. Like, you can get them to the point where they are fearless. You can give them a combat drug that gives them another leadership.
If you roll for it. Combat drugs are random.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's
Unless you,
crazy.
Yeah, unless you're a specific cult or something like that.
Yeah.
But anywho.
it gets so complicated, but
Yeah.
it's really fun that way.
I think
Yeah.
it offers a lot of versatility on
Yeah.
the tabletop. I think they've actually translated the feel of Dark Eldar from the story onto the tabletop very nicely with their combat drugs.
Sure.
I like that aspect of it, that you do take these like randomized things in it. So I'm not super familiar with the way that Dark Eldar play on the table. Someone actually just played with us the other week that was Dark Eldar. So
Yeah.
we kind of had the codex open and we were leafing through it, looking at a couple things, and I like how unique it is.
Yeah,
It doesn't
they got a
play
lot of-
like a vanilla army.
No, for sure. Even
You really have to know the rules too.
or
If you
who
want to
you're
be good
playing,
with, yeah, because you're so dependent on every little
because you're not going to
intricate
use
trick.
a poison weapon on a, help me here, machine.
Almost
vehicle.
almost
On a
any
vehicle.
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
anything unless it's a big creature.
If
but
it's
you
not
still gotta know
infantry,
it's there.
if it's not infantry,
Yeah.
you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like then they also have like the 3 different breakdowns. They have cabals, homunculus covens, and they have
Witches.
like yeah.
Even how they build their detachments is very different from
Yeah,
how we
they're-
do it. So I like it. I'm excited to play more against it. I'm tired of fighting Space Marines.
It's going to be tiresome.
So, anyways,
There wasn't enough today's in the realm
very true.
yet.
Yeah, I agree. So finishing off our war gear choices for witches, they also do use large raiders, smaller venoms as transports. They will also use reaver jet pikes or
Yeah.
skyboards. So
yeah.
there's many different things, but just picture like that small being who's focused on speed and
Yeah.
what aesthetic are they trying to go for? This arrogant being, really. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's their war gear.
Yeah.
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 You want me to say yeah? You want me to say
Yeah.
yeah? Yeah.
I do.
All right, known cults. So we never even said what cults were really even at the beginning.
Yeah, they're a faction. Witch cults are a faction within the city.
Yeah, and there's countless cults. Like there's not just one cult. You can make up your own cult. Yeah.
Let me just read what I had written.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Up until this point, we've been throwing that word around, and we never even
Like, it
knew
doesn't
what
mean
it was.
anything.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like we're not part of one or something.
I am.
Yeah, the cult of Warhammer. Working
Wait,
on it,
it's a witch cult now?
working on it for years.
He's the prima succubus? There's your proof right there, Christian.
He always was, Eric.
You got me.
Damn it. Am I the lesser succubus?
Because you suck
Lower.
less, yes.
No, you would suck less.
Well, I mean,
would
what
suck
are we
more.
talking about? Combat sucking? Or are you talking about what kind of sucking are we talking about here?
I think the better at combat, the less you have to suck.
That's pretty astute right there.
It's not untrue.
Yeah, I would join that cult.
So
I'll take a female's opinion on that for sure.
Yeah. So to take care of a city as vast and immeasurable as Kimura, there must also be many arenas to subdue the rapacious desires of the Drukhari. To that end, there could exist hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of witch cults, but there are a few well-known cults that hold exceptional status or power within the Dark City.
Nice. Yeah, like a cult can literally just be like one person in like his backyard doing backyard wrestling, I guess.
Boom. That's male prima succubus. It's my own cult.
Damn it.
But yeah, it
then
could,
they could
it could
also
go very small.
Yeah, but then they could also have the vast sprawling ones where it's thousands of members and
Yeah. And another thing about Kimura is just that power change. Not only does it change hands constantly, but it's quick, and
Yeah.
power can change hands drastically.
Yeah.
So whoever's on the top of the witch cults today could be toppled by tomorrow.
Sure.
And you've never heard of this cult in your life, and all of a sudden it's the most prominent and amazing witch cult that exists in all of Kimura. So
Yeah.
things can change very fast within
Yeah.
Kimura.
I do like the idea of like a up and coming, even like a Dark Elder house or like a small witch cult that's only like a handful of members, like just trying to survive in this like really.
Everybody loves an underdog.
Right, exactly. And it's not like they're getting anywhere, they're just surviving. And that's their whole story and their
Yeah.
whole shtick is like they're just.
Just trying to carve out their own little piece.
And they're
say,
constantly
like,
at war with all the gangs around
Of
them.
course,
And
yeah.
like, you know, I like that.
I mean, I'm
like
pretty sure
that.
we've talked about how like that's also a great story for a cabal. Like
Yeah, same
nobody
thing.
nobody wants to be like the most powerful cabal that's boring, but you want to have a cabal that's constantly under strife, right? Constantly trying to survive in
Yeah,
this.
like you're
in
not
the
getting
city.
anywhere, but you're also just spinning your
Exactly.
wheels and trying to survive.
It's the perfect story in Kimura. Is just like that daily
grind.
struggle to
Yes.
survive. Anyways, the Cult of Strife.
I like that.
It's perfect.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. The Cult of Strife, which is
I have other
led.
ideas if you want to hear them.
Hit me up after.
I've read your Google Drive. I'm okay.
Well, let's make a night of it.
So the Cult of Strife is led by Lilith Hesperax, and this is the witch that I've been referencing the entire time we've been doing this. She is the pinnacle of all witches. So, arguably the largest and most powerful of all the cults, Lilith has led her cult to the very peaks of Kimurite power. Some might say this was only possible because of Vex's personal admiration for her, but the truth may lie much deeper than that.
Keep going.
Each witch in this cult are master executioners, and they dedicate their life to perfecting killing in every possible form. When they raid, they observe the lesser races they face, and if they are introduced to a new way to kill, they will catalog this and may even adapt it into their coliseum if suitable. They seem very intentional about that. We're like this one race I fought, I've seen this form a million times, but instead of sliding his hand upwards, the wrist flicked downwards. So maybe they record it and they replay it over and over again to try and understand what that person's doing. So they seem like perfectionists.
Sure.
Is what this cult is. Under Lilith's guidance, the Cult of Strife has elevated blood sport into a high art. Their performances have become so breathtaking that treasonous politicking and martial coups have not been necessary for them to gain power, which is an anomaly
Yeah.
within Kimura. The fact that you don't need to assassinate people or bribe or threaten or blackmail.
Yeah.
Like they did it purely on the fact that they're just amazing at being a witch cult.
Yeah.
The relationship between the Cabal of the Black Heart, which is the largest in Kimura, and the Cult of Strife is very intertwined. To challenge the Cult of Strife is to bring down the wrath of Vecht, and the Cabal itself revels in the glories earned by the cult on the sands of the arena as their patron.
Nice. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, they're the best of the best, really. And being that you would draw even more of the best of the best, I'm sure other cult members, which from other cults, join this one because
Absolutely.
everyone wants to be a part of this one to be the
Yeah.
best.
It has the most glories. It's
Yeah.
going to have the most raids. It's
Yeah.
going to have the best facilities. They're going to draw the largest crowds.
Sure.
If you're good enough, right? But it also means the skill in this has been shot up through the roof,
Sure,
right? So
sure.
if you want to join this cult, they probably have lots of applicants, but you better be goddamn good. So I didn't go into Lilith a lot, which is
Are you going in more?
not in this episode,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
she could have her own
I was
episode.
gonna say
Because she's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's so, and her relationship with Vecht and how she runs the
Yeah.
Cult of Strife. So
Yeah.
I really had to pare this one down.
It
I
was
still don't have her, and I have. Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited.
You should get her.
I want her so bad.
Yeah. Me too.
Or do you want to be her?
I want to be
Like her.
Yeah.
I want to wear her skin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it has no scars. It's more beautiful than my skin.
Perfect.
But that is the cult of strife.
Yeah.
That is the like the poster boy of the witch cults.
Quintessential.
Yeah, it's the ultramarines of the witch cults.
I'm not arguing. That look. Do you want to fight? You want to just fight for fun? No, fuck you. Got nothing. What do you want from me?
It's the Cadians of the witch cults.
I can fight over that. That's an argument, that one. So the next cult we have is the cult of the Cursed Blade. So they have no known leader. The phrase Cursed Blade is synonymous in Cormora with treachery and betrayal. For any cabal that invites alliance with this cult, they also invite a blade in the back or poison in their drink. All witches in the cult feel that treachery is the greatest of all virtues.
An interesting thing to note is that the phrase "cursed blade" it's actually used not when it's not referring to the cult. It literally refers to like a betrayal.
Sure.
It's like an idiom or something like someone has taken your position like like that cursed blade must have
blade in
felt
the back.
shitty. Yeah, but apparently this is the cult where that generated from. They called themselves the Cursed Blade, and then they so embodied that spirit of betrayal and treason and whatever that it's now like
a phrase.
it's now normal in Camorra to say Cursed Blade, and it just means betrayal. So
And now they don't even have a leader because of it. No one would want to be the leader of
no,
this.
they can't tell anyone who the leader is. No one can claim to be the leader because immediately they would just be betrayed and die. So they lead secretly.
It's fun.
It's a good time. We have fun here.
The Nexus Arena, where the cult performs, contains monofilament traps, venom dart, toxic loaded syringes just lying on the floor.
Just wait. It gets so much better.
It sounds like a crack house. Are they just fighting in a crack house?
And other lethal traps. And they are just as likely to be turned on the audience as the fighters. It's a crack house for sure. You're right. To the spectators, this danger merely elevates the experience to include a personal threat.
Yeah, apparently like it's like a rush to go and to have like your neighbor's head all of a sudden be sliced in half by a monofilament, but you're fine, right? Like that it's the gambling with your life thing that we talked about earlier. Like it's a crazy rush, but
Yeah. Don't like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what kind of stuff are they like influencing on
The young
young
Eldar minds.
Yeah,
I don't think most Dark Eldar mothers care.
I guess not. And that's the sweet part of it, or something.
Is that what I won't go there.
Is that sweet? Is
that
that
what you want from
awesome?
motherhood?
Just shut off and distant. It's perfect.
Go play in the monofilament traps. Mommy needs a smoke.
2 more minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be me.
The next cult is the cult of the Red Grief, led by Idilanian.
Sure. Why not? So this cult employs flotillas of reavers, hellions, and venoms that fly in close formation aimed at their enemy. When the moment comes to engage, witches leap from flying platform to platform as they employ their deadly skills. The only time they ever touch the down is to deliver a killing blow, and they do this so swiftly that the vehicles don't even need to slow down.
So crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like you just have two things driving side by side, and they're just constantly hopping from one to the next,
Slicing
while also
people
slicing
underneath,
people, like, laying traps everywhere, throwing dirty needles. They're witches. They're not nice people. I mean,
Oh my
don't
God.
go, don't go to their house on Halloween.
The cult of the dirty syringe.
They all use the
Scratching.
same syringe to administer their combat drugs.
They're all
We're
scratching
environmentally
themselves and like messy hair.
Really dark, sunken eyes.
Go to the Archon. Hey.
Sounds like mine. Go to that one.
The arena of this cult is a crystalline spire that has no floor, only a cavernous abyss. Floating within this space are anti-grav platforms. Hellions often duel here, trailing monofilament wires behind them in intricate webs as they attempt to spectacularly kill their opponents. It's so I can't. How do you do it? How do you? Even if you lay one wire yourself, like
How do you remember where it is? You can't see
you
it.
can't see it.
Yeah.
Going
It's
so fast.
fucked. Like
And you're going so fast. You're a hellion. So how many drugs are pumping through your system, right? Like,
what's the cleanup crew like? Even them, they're getting
well, there's no
Shredded.
floor.
There's no.
Oh, I get it.
like
they're trying to clean up. Zzz.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like how many wires are just abandoned in there? Like
The Talos comes in later, just sucking up everything.
The vacuum.
Talos vacuum cleaner. I like, like gossamer. Like if you throw it up in the air and it like kind of floats.
Sure.
I like that. That's what it kind of looks like too.
Filament thread.
Yeah, it's just like
Maybe.
floating in the air.
and then it touches you, but it just goes.
Yeah, man, it just goes
you.
through you, right? Like it just like floats through you, and it's like, it's scary. It's scary stuff.
Oh, it's not. It's not fun in these arenas. I'm gonna. No.
Hot take by Eric.
Yeah.
I think they learn to like adrenaline of any kind.
Absolutely. But today's unpopular opinion by Eric.
Mm-hmm.
I would not last long in an arena, and neither would you.
I mean, you guys are
We'll see
boys
tonight.
though, and I'm
Are we
a
fighting
girl.
pumas? I could do it.
Yeah,
You put me in an
Brianna would
arena
win,
with
I
the
guess. Fuck off with that. That's nonsense.
Christian claims that he can beat up a full-grown puma with his bare hands.
Of course he could.
Yeah.
In his dreams.
You guys just lack the will to fight.
So we have one more
Pumas.
line about the cults.
Specifically.
We have one more line about the cult of the Red Grief, and it is an oddity among cults. Witches of the Red Grief frequently join in Comora's Hellion gang wars after a real space raid. This is described as a meditative practice. So this is where they come. Yeah, that's crazy though.
There's no monofilament wires here.
Yeah,
It's relatively safe.
there's no cavernous abyss below me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's an interesting thing. That goes back to the fact that there's relationships between all these different factions.
Sure.
So the Cult of the Red Grief, it's a lot of their witches actually come from Hellions.
Yeah.
And then they, after going to the grueling life of training to be a witch and going on their real space raids and constantly in the threat in the arena, they just need a little break. So they go join the Hellions again, and they have a little Hellion raid, and then they say, all right, my mind is clear. I feel centered again. My chakras have realigned. Time to go destroy some more souls. So, yeah. And that's all we have about witch cults.
Yeah, very cool. So if I learned one thing,
Which we didn't.
no, I always knew everything, always.
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
I was to pretend to learn one thing,
Absolutely.
it would be that Christian cannot fight pumas. Just to clarify.
So the only
we have another
problem-
person voting in favor of not fighting
The only
pumas.
problem I have with
I'm Gladiator
that is
certified.
I haven't seen the source myself. I have yet to actually see him fighting a puma. I'm not saying it's impossible.
It's just not likely.
It's just yes, yeah.
Yeah, because pumas are cowards.
Christian
and they
could
run
get
away.
lucky, and the puma could back up on a rock and fall and smash its head into a spike that was on the ground. And then technically, yes, he did beat a puma in a fight.
But if he had his gladiatorial arena, he might stand a chance against this puma.
Bare hands.
Help me here, Christian.
You need to create a scenario where you're going to win this.
Now, the one cool thing I learned about this episode was chimeras. I've never heard of them before. I've seen their model, but I didn't know that they were like warp beasts. But it's kind of cool, like having like actual warp beasts in Cormora.
I like how they have to go into a dream state to catch them.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Like a journey, yeah.
Like a spirit quest.
Probably one of the coolest things I learned while writing this was one of the a story of, I don't know, should I share it?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a story of these two prima succubuses. I can't remember their names, but let's just call one Mark and one Eric.
Impossible,
And
but
they
go
are-
on.
So
beta.
Eric the prima succubus is covered in scars and views each scar as like a victory in and of itself. And
Which
Mark,
is a foolish notion.
absolutely, Mark views each scar
As a
as a failure to preserve like the perfection that is witch cults.
You had a perfect body, Eric,
And I
you
ruined
ruined
it.
it with scars.
And each of these scars is a testament to my victories in the
And
arena.
to Mark, it's like, oh, you were too slow there. You were too slow there. You let
Exactly.
your enemy
So
hit you there.
these two prima succubuses are constantly battling it out through whatever seditious ways. And
Podcasting.
yeah. and eventually,
Across the
I believe that Prima Succubus Mark tricks Prima Succubus Eric and kills me. And does it in the arena. It's a perfect show, whatever, like very bloodthirsty, whatever. But Mark didn't know that the homunculi, Brianna, actually had a massive crush on Prima Succubus Eric. And so Brianna pays.
Did he know as well?
Eric did not know.
The face is so red.
So the homunculi gets a sample of Prima Succubus's Eric mangled body, takes it back to his lab, and resurrects this Prima Succubus, scars and all, like literally the exact same body, because he always thought that was like she was perfect in like how she approached her witch.
Thank you, Eric.
No. The homunculus thought the witch was perfect in how
dang it.
the witch. I'm a
Dang it.
she. I'm a she in this scenario.
I got
Interesting.
confused and I wanted to be perfect.
Don't worry about it. But so then he brought her back to life, and then the revenge was they captured Prima Succubus Mark, and they tortured and transformed Mark into this hideous, disgusting beast, incapable of speaking, misshapen, removing limbs,
A lot what he
adding
looks like
others.
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
he would just die.
Yeah, but into something completely unrecognizable. And then, however long this entire process took, at some point, Prima Succubus Eric walks back into the arena, like after everyone had thought she was dead, and trailing behind her on a long chain is the misshapen lump of flesh that was her once murderer. And it's described that the arena falls silent because no one understands what's happening, and it's only when the beast behind starts like crying for release and in agony and pain that people start recognizing, wait a second, that's
Mark.
like that's Mark, and that's the one he murdered. And so then and apparently it's like one of the greatest performances ever seen in the arenas, is everyone was on their feet thunderously applauding for all the agony and pain that this once perfect witch was now experiencing. And it just, that to me is like the penultimate of like an arena performance, is there's literally not a drop of blood spilled in that performance.
It's suffering.
But the pain and agony leaching and bleeding off of this former goddess is sustaining all these Eldar. And I loved that image
It's very
so
cool
much.
picture. It's a real
Well, you
shame
nailed it
though
then,
that
Eric.
it's a real shame that the follow-up performance was not good. It was just Beastmaster Christian getting mauled by a chimera.
A chimera, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, no, I dream stated you.
Yeah, it's
We were
a poor
bonded.
follow-up, but
the
yeah, no, that's a cool story.
The
Like,
story is in the codex.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it justice because I'm not including names, and I should have just read the story is what I should have done. I should have just had it here. But man, it's so awesome. If you want to like immerse yourself in like that aspect of Kimura life, in like what it is to be in the arenas and what it is to appreciate like the pain and suffering, I would definitely go read that story. It's very quick, but
That's
it's
cool.
awesome.
Did either of you two learn something? Or have a favorite? Anything? Any final thoughts?
I mean, I think I want to give them to myself. I may or may never see you guys again after this. I learned a lot. I'll say that.
Have you grown as a person?
I feel like I'm better of a person than maybe some other people.
Well, no, because you're realizing, hey, wait, I don't survive off of the torture of others.
I should start
Yeah.
doing that. It'll make my skin glow.
Right. Yeah, there's two ways you could take that.
Odd that's where you go, Christian. Interesting. Yeah.
But he really wants that arena, so I think he already has some plans.
I got big plans.
Yeah.
Big things.
Big cat fighting
Big
plans.
decisions.
I gave away too much.
Well, before we end the episode, we are going to go over our new patrons. So first of all, thank you to all those that have increased their Patreons, their patronage
Sure.
in order to watch our videos.
Yeah.
It's awesome. We love seeing anyone who's interested enough to bump their donation up amount to watch our videos, and we want everyone to watch them. I think it's totally worth it.
Yeah. You like started watching one and you've never listened to an episode we've done before.
Yeah,
ever.
I don't listen to podcasts. Like I
Yeah.
listen to music when I
Yeah.
want like auditory stimulation. But for some reason, like I was just checking the videos that we had, and I was like, holy shit! Like it's been 40 minutes, and I'm just staring at this.
I'm looking at myself, enraptured by my.
that what it was?
I was staring at Mark.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's like, I miss him when he's not around.
He's much prettier than I am. So, but anyways, I think it's totally worth it. It's a great medium. You should definitely try it
Yeah.
out. $2. I know you can do it.
Yeah.
Anyways, but other than that, these are all our new patron members. Thank you to Taylor, Van Thiel, Arden, Nathaniel, Randall, Mike, Anders, Bar HD, Jorf, Jason, Sean, Helston, Luca, Matthew, Trevino, Brian, Christian, not this one.
How do you know? How do you know
I am
what I've contributed to this
99
podcast?
I'm 99.9% positive that you will never pay money to Laura.
Yeah.
Hammer.
When I see the Didac has paid,
That's when we'll know.
that's when we'll
Yeah.
know.
This is your last episode.
Exactly.
I'm not paying to be on a podcast. I'm not coming back to.
We also have Trevino, Brian. Oh, I already said those. Dr. Wolf, Volkswagen Jetta Hive Tyrant, Robert, Jace, James, Luke, Quinn, and Ron.
Hey, Ron, thank you.
Thank you so much for contributing, guys. It's
Thank you.
very.
Thank you. I guess most of you will be
Hey,
watching.
yeah.
Thank you.
Here's an
Hey.
actual wave to the camera.
Let's
for
not
you
get carried
guys.
away. We don't want to set up expectations and now we have to always wave.
I'm just performing magic.
I
Relax.
think,
Cleansing our atmospheres.
yeah, if you
And
want to do
cursing
like
those that
some
watch.
interpretive dance, it's all on you from here.
Put a curse on you, Christian.
Damn it.
But anyways, thanks for participating, Brianna. Thank you for
Oh,
coming.
I love it.
Yeah,
It's
it's nice
good.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, I'm
Well,
waiting
you
for
have
my
to say
kids.
yes. So
I mean, I am recording.
yeah,
I do
was
have a gun
great.
under the table.
smile for
pointed
the
at me.
goddamn camera, Brianna. Yeah, Christian, thank you for coming. Always a pleasure.
Sometimes a pleasure.
Yeah, never
Sometimes
a pleasure.
pain.
I don't know why I said that. I just lied. It's a compulsive need to lie. And Mark,
Sweet, lovable Mark.
sweet, beautiful, princely,
Innocent,
naive,
Supple. Oh, yeah. We both went there.
graceful.
It's a soft spot.
Thank you for joining me on this podcast.
We did it. Another one for the books.
Another one there.
Or the...
I don't know, digital books.
Sure. We'll go with that.
Anyways, we'll see you guys next time on Lore Hammer.
Bye.